Hi.
Love it. Love it so much. Welcome, everybody, to the Renegade Realm Podcast, episode 133. It's so good to see you guys here. Thank you so much. We have DeMarco here. Thank you so much, DeMarco, for being here. It is it's so good to see you. And so good to see everyone in chat. Everyone, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Frog Thought, Ion Storm, Game Adaptation Newscast, Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat, I said it right that time, Air Nation, Biff Rinaldi, Mustafa Himi. I'm just gonna say it differently every time. Andrew Cullinane. Who else is here? That's all. BT Maverick. What's up? What's up? Thank you all so much for being here. Really means a lot. Thank you. Sorry, I'm really off today. I apologize. DeMarco, how are you?
Take a breath. Relax. It's fine. I got a comment on one of my videos where someone did which I love that this is still a thing when someone comments and they go first comment. I love that that's been a thing since the inception of the internet, basically. That's a true fact. Look it up. But
I will just believe you.
So somebody did that. Yeah, actually don't look it up. Just trust me implicitly.
I trust
and someone did that, and then they did first, and then just a bunch of spaces, and then said hello there. And I thought they were doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi, hello there, Right. And so I went, oh, so and it was, the user was just for cause. So then I replied, General Kazubi, and then they responded back and said, I don't get the reference, but thanks for responding. And I went, oh.
My God. They must be really young. That's the only thing that I can imagine. That's insane.
I love stuff like that. I can't see if someone just says hello there, that's the only, just my brain just goes me General Kenobi.
You did
General
it in your
Stromboli. Have you ever seen
the video
where it's
you drop down like Obi-Wan?
Oh, that's all I could think of. Have you ever seen the memes where it's like that, and then it'll be General Grievous, but he'll have the French hat and a baguette in his hands, and then he's twisting him around, and he'll just have an Italian mustache, and he'll go General Stromboli, and then it looks back to Obi-Wan, and he's just a Stromboli.
No. I have not.
Wonderful stuff.
I have not.
I was talking about just tons of memes the other day. The Lord of the Rings where. Have you ever fought side by side by a side? And he's just a cube.
Yeah,
and then Gimli goes, I, and he's just a giant eyeball. Oh, the internet is wonderful. If you need something to make you laugh, there's one of my recent favorite videos. Two things that just keep coming up for me. The pigs. Have you ever seen the pigs that are brother, may I have some oats? No, these are my oats. The tall, skinny gods have given them to me. There's the Oblivion.
That makes every video better.
Playing in the background.
Yeah. What is that? Secunda? No, wait.
That's from Oblivion.
Right. That's not Secunda. I'm dumb. I'm a fake fan. Go ahead.
And Potion Seller, please, Potion Seller. I'm going into battle and I need your strongest potions. I think I did this on last week's podcast, and then it just zooms in. You can't handle my potions, traveler. I don't know.
You did.
My brain is stuck at that and Ultimate Showdown. This is the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. Good guys, bad guys, and explosions.
You've lost me on that one. You totally lost me.
Oh, yeah,
but I appreciate you.
Anyway, I hope one person in chat knows what I'm talking about. That's where I've been doing. That's where my head's been at. And I've been making some content. It's on my channel.
I have a gross meme, Lord of the Rings one. I think you already know where I'm going with this. It's the potato one, where there was a news article years ago, and it was it was during the pandemic, actually. It's people have resorted to using potatoes as, adult toys. And it shows the Lord of the Rings meme, and it has, they're carving them into whatever they want it to be. And then it just shows Samwise Gamgee. He's like, potatoes, boil and mash them, stick them in my ass. It's so dumb. It's so
The internet, ladies and gentlemen.
Love it. Yeah.
The internet.
And shout out to all the channel members. I sincerely appreciate you guys. Like Aero Nation. I'm so sorry. I don't have the list up. I should. If I bring it up, it'll screw up the whole show. And again, forgive me, guys. I'm a little off today, but I sincerely appreciate everyone. I think Biff Rinaldi's also a channel member. Cody Eastwood, Hargeet Chani. Sincerely appreciate the support. It really means a lot. It's very timely as well. So sincerely thank you. DeMarco, what have you been playing, man? What you been into this week?
I haven't had time to play anything, unfortunately. I have this itch in the back of my head to go back and play Mass Effect, but every time I think of it, the issue is every time I think of it, I'm like, well, I love Mass Effect, but I really don't want to kind of slog through Mass Effect 1, and I can't just jump to Mass Effect 2. I can't do it.
You're right.
It would ruin the whole thing for me. So I have to start from, but that's been like itching in the back of my head, but I know I don't have time for it. I've wanted to complete Alan Wake 2, haven't jumped into it. What I've actually been playing, I guess a bit of, I tried out Barony recently, which is this little indie dungeon crawler game. It kind of has like these Minecraft graphics, but it's a dungeon crawler, and it's really intense. There's a lot of cool mechanics in there. It's pretty hardcore game, actually, surprisingly, for what you see. It definitely more than meets the eye. So Barony was a really cool one that I would recommend if you like dungeon crawl. I'm talking old school dungeon crawlers, like Legend of Grimrock, style. It's not the same as Legend of Grimrock. It's also co-op. You can play with buddies, go and crawl dungeons. It's really, really neat. And what else? I've been actually playing Fallout 76 a decent amount too. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. I really have to say Bethesda's done a good job. Now, there's still things that exceptionally piss me off about it, which is the exact same things. These conversations have died down a lot since the game has come out because the updates that have been releasing for it have been very good. Wastelanders completely changed the game. I've been enjoying playing through. Obviously, it's a lot more polished. It feels a lot crisper. Like, everything just reacts a lot better in that game. So, overall, the mechanics are much, much more tight than they were. Still plenty of bugs. I've had enemies just disappear when I'm trying to loot them. Sometimes if the feral ghouls are trying to get up, they might be sleeping, and then you kind of walk up and shoot them, and then they'll start waking up, but you kill them before they fully finish the animation, and then they'll just be like, and then just stuck halfway in getting up.
Right.
So it looks a little ridiculous. So there's still some minor things like that, but it still really does annoy me. You hop into it, and there's so much. It's like, get this with the Fallout First Pass, get this through the Atom Shop, get this through the thing. And I came across a video recently by Gopher Vids, who anyone who knows me knows that I have so much respect for him and his opinions. He articulates them so well. It's the type of person you listen to, no matter what he says, you just go, yeah, you're right. You know what you're talking about. Yeah, yes, sir. Just like, yep. And so he's so well articulated. So it popped up on my home feed, and I said, let me check this out. And he was talking about how he just does not like it because this was around the time they started implementing pay for convenience features. Like, it was the increased storage, the auto mining for your camp so you could get resources while you're away. I think you could have like fridge that doesn't let food spoil as quickly. Silly things that are pay for convenience, not pay to win, pay for convenience. And he was calling it out. And he said the thing that I always feel about all these experiences that have any microtransactions, which is once they put those into the game, they immediately have an incentive to not let you have the coolest stuff in the game unless you pay for it. Because otherwise, why would you pay for anything? So the second there's any kind of microtransaction, anything, immediately, I don't care if you can play it. Oh, it's not pay to win. Oh, it's just cosmetics. I don't care because it locks you out of the stuff that you probably want. Not always. Sometimes paid cosmetics can be pretty crappy. But generally speaking, the stuff, it just immediately puts a damper on it for me whenever I see a microtransaction store. It's what pissed me off about Helldivers. I loved Helldivers. I have such a hard time going back into that game when I realize I don't care if the guns are functionally the same thing. They're a little bit different, right? But they might have the same stats and the same damage, and they're comparable to but I can't get any of them because I'm not paying, and it's so frustrating.
I agree. Especially with Helldivers, man. Like, it's not like, oh, you can play the game and you can unlock those things, but like they make it so astronomically difficult. It's like, give me something every now and then. Don't make me grind for 20 hours to get one thing. Or even longer. And yeah, I love Helldivers, but like I did eventually get burnt out on that, and then whenever Arc Raiders came around, I was like, this is kind of like a more fun grind, because you are progressively getting things. Like, you are like getting things every like few hours, instead of like, I played this game for 4 hours straight today with my friends, I didn't get anything tonight. Like, I hate that. Yeah, and the Atomic Shop in Fallout 76 definitely is something that needs some sort of, just get it out of here. I don't know, like, there are some cool fun stuff, but like,
can't, because obviously everything in that game is free, right?
Exactly.
All the updates are free, so that's never going to happen. But
right, yeah, totally. Shout out to excuse me, shout out to some people joining here in chat again. Thank you all so much for being here. See, Jake joined, says, my favorite wolf with my favorite dude. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate you. Air Nation says, if you like old school Doom, I came across a game called Dread Templar, free with Amazon Prime. It's a pretty solid game. Okay, all right, okay. Amazon free with Amazon Prime. So how does that work? Do you just get like a code?
Amazon Prime gives away free games every now and again, like Epic Game Store does.
Okay. I was like, do you play it on Amazon Prime? Shout out to 78 Inc. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Cold Eastwood says Assassin's Creed flak bag. God, if anyone watched XNC last night, there was the most legendary flub to date. That's all I'll say. Just go watch the show, and it'll just happen.
I've seen some impressive flubs on that show.
It is. It's legendary, and I just was blown away. It was incredible. I'm not even going to tell you guys what happens or when it happens. Just go watch it, and you'll know. I mean, immediately. It's hilarious. It was such a great show Colt had last night. Assassin says, well, where is he? Have a great time, fellas. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Let's just, hey, I've been playing Skyrim because, nothing. I installed Stalker 2, and I was like, I'm gonna do this, and it just, I just have not been having a good time just in general lately, and I'm like, let me just play something that makes me feel good. And I was like, let me play Skyrim, and then, as you knew, I told you.
Are
guys
you
before,
playing on PC?
No, I'm on console. And I think I told you before, my mod list has been broken for a year. It's been unplayable, unfixable.
All you need to do is switch to PC, spend, it's annoying, but spend the $15 for 1 month of Vortex Premium or Nexus Mod Premium, and then go to one of the curated collections, and you have this entirely gorgeous experience at your disposal. The reason for the premium is because it will just auto download everything. You can hit the button, it'll do hundreds of gigabytes worth of mods. You walk away, you come back a couple hours later, and you have everything ready to go. And they're supposed to work. I've never done it myself because I have mod lists in a playthrough that I've been enjoying from time to time, so I don't want to mess anything up with that. But just thank me later. Just do it that way.
No, and I always do. Whenever I do mod on PC, I only ever use Vortex unless it's something like I really took my time modding Red Dead Redemption 2, and you have to install like the script extenders, and it's everyone in chat's like, I don't care, but you know how it is. It's a lot. But I did finally get my mod order working. And it was the stupidest fix. I'm sure you know the control mod with a K, where it allows you to hotkey things. So you have 8 hotkeys. No, you have like 16 hotkeys. You have tap left on the as an example, you have like tap left on your D-pad or hold left on the D-pad, or you can hold left bumper and press the D-pad in any direction. So you have like 4, 6, 4, 8, 16, whatever, 12 hotkeys. And so there's an updated version of Control that you need to use for Skyrim Anniversary Edition, because it was locking me out of fixing my load order, because I would go into Creations menu, and because I had that mod installed, it wouldn't let me interact with the menu. I'm like, what are we doing? So I finally figured it out and just completely redid my entire mod load order. So now I only have like 50 some mods, and they're all purely systems and aesthetic based, nothing insane. And it's just been incredible. And I already have like 20 hours in. I started just a new character in Riverwood, and I'm just chopping wood, making money, taking it to what's his name, Hod. Selling wood.
Hod.
Yeah, I think it's Hod, and selling wood to him, and like hunting, because I have the Hunter-born mod where you have to like dress down it's insane the way I play games, but it's been so, yeah, it just warms my heart. It's been so great, just walking through the world, and just I got Frostfall installed and all that. It's, of course, it's exactly what I needed, because I was like just forcing myself to enjoy games, and I just haven't been having a good time. It's, life is
when that happens. I always find myself to enjoy. Everyone's different. I've always find myself to enjoy roguelike experiences more. Things that you can just hop into, play a little bit, and then be like, all right, I did it. I'm gonna go do something a bit more productive over here, so I can feel like I've accomplished something today. So that's why, like, Risk of Rain 2, fantastic. Hades is a good one. Darkest Dungeons is obviously one of my go-tos. I've talked about it so many times. I love Darkest Dungeon. So many great FTL. If you want to know the systems that inspired Starfield's shooting space mechanics, FTL is it. It's a great one to hop into. Thronebreaker. You like Witcher? I don't know what your take on Gwent actually is.
I love Gwent, dude. I have an entire spreadsheet. I need to share you this spreadsheet, because I have a blank version, and then I have mine that's updated. I have the whole spreadsheet, chat, that I have made. I've curated it from other spreadsheets, and I've narrowed it down to this extremely comprehensive, easy to use spreadsheet that you can use on your phone. You can pull it up like an app on your phone that tracks every single Gwent card in the entire game of Witcher 3, where it's located, if it's missable, and all you have to do whenever let's say you're playing The Witcher 3 and you beat someone in Gwent, and you earn a card. You're like, oh, it's the card. So you pause your game, you pull up your phone, hit the button, and it checks off your the card that you just got. So, and then you just exit out of the app, essentially. It's amazing. I love Gwent so much, and I do need to try Thronebreaker, because there's a lot of Witcher things happening soon. We're going to talk about The Witcher 4 today, because I have a controversial take about The Witcher 4, because I hate women. I really hate women. No, I'm kidding. But I do want to talk about it, because as a huge Witcher fan, I figured it was good to talk to another huge Witcher fan that DeMarco is. Too much screwing around, game adaptation says. Yeah, mods, you spend more time modding than you do gaming sometimes. But once you get it right, it's amazing. It really is amazing. So yeah, so I need to share you. Oh, you have the actual physical? No way, dude. That's so cool. So, let me see a card. Let that air out. That new Gwent smell. I'm so excited to see this. You're muted.
Which do you want to see? Northern Realms, Nilfgaard, Skellige?
Northern Realms, baby. That's my deck. Let's see. Oh, I see Scorch. Dude, that's so good. There's Vernon Roche. Oh, yeah. That is so, dude, I love that. They look like they got some texture to them. Ooh, Prince Stennis. Yeah, you can use him to steal an opponent's card, replace yours with them. Yeah, I love Gwent so much.
They got all of them, and then you have like, I don't know where all of them are mixed into this deck, but you have all the different. Oop, he's upside down.
The leaders.
You have
yeah,
all
the different
versions of
yeah,
full tests to use.
So cool.
It's cool. It comes with actually like a 5v5, you know, because there's 5 decks. You could do, you know, 1v1 v1 v1 v1. You can do sort of a tournament mode where you need to do best of 3, but you need to win using 3 different decks. So it's a fun way to do it if you're just doing like me versus you, for example. And then obviously there's repeats in it, so you'll get every single deck, for example, will have, you know, like Yennefer, or every single deck will have, you know, a different version. No matter which one you play, everyone will have a different version of Ciri, for example.
Right, because you can use that in any deck. Yeah, the hero cards you can use. Yeah, they're interchangeable between decks. Arrow Nation says, I recently started Witcher 3 for the first time, man. Dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love whenever... Oh, shout out to Arcane. Sorry, bro. I didn't even see you in there. Glad to have you. True 77. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, I'm also going through The Witcher 3, so I'm... it took me... I think I said this last week. I jumped back into The Witcher 3, and I have like 130 hours into a level 27 character. And I was like, I think I need to start over. And I'm like, if I start over, I'm just never going to, like, I can't keep doing this with every single game. But I did just end up continuing it by reading through all of my completed quests. I think I have like 147 completed quests. I went through and like read them all to catch myself up, because there are rumors of Witcher DLC coming every single day. Every day there's like a new, and the analyst says that there's Witcher 3 DLC coming out. Cole says, when are you not playing The Witcher? Yeah, it is happening eventually. Yeah. Well, look, we're already talking about The Witcher. I have a hot take. You were off mic whenever I was telling chat how much I hate women in video games. And
I know you talk about it a lot off camera.
I do. I'm like, God, I just, if there's any women in chat, get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. So let's just get into this, because and honestly, this has, I'll try to explain myself as much as I can. Let me get rid of this here. And guys, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Really appreciate that, just to get us in the algorithm. And I'll be back to videos, making videos soon as everything is back to normal. But let me express my concern here. I know The Witcher 3 has been out for over 10 years. The series has been out for almost 40 years. Wasn't like 89 or something whenever the first book came out? Or no, actually I think it was like 1990 or 91, like around whenever I was born. And The Witcher has always been Geralt of Rivia, and I know that with Ciri just to frame this whole thing, my issue is that Ciri is the main character and Geralt's not involved in the main role, just to frame this whole discussion. Ciri is an established character. I think my issue is that, let's compare it to a few different things. So spoiler for The Last Jedi and Last of Us. You know, we wait for so long. We have a beloved character that set up a franchise for us, and we know this franchise from that established character for years. And then we have to wait almost 10 years for another iteration. The Last Jedi, we waited over 30 years for Luke Skywalker to come back. He comes back, he's a grumpy old man, and he dies. And someone else is the leading role for him.
Doesn't die, he goes to sleep. He gets tired.
Yeah, he goes to sleep. Well, in that case, Joel also went to sleep in The Last of Us 2. We waited almost 10 years, like 8 years from Last of Us 1 to Last of Us 2. He took a golf nap. And finally we get Joel back, and he's dead. And it's like, okay, here we are again with The Witcher. And it's like, okay, it would be different if like we had a few games in between, or like a game in between. And maybe this DLC bridging the gap will make me shut up and stop crying about it. But now we will have waited nearly 15 years whenever The Witcher 4 finally comes out. Geralt's going to be in the game. he's probably going to come back, be an old crotchety Vesemir-like character, and die saving Ciri or something like that. And even if he doesn't, it's just what made the franchise special to begin with is not only the universe, like the incredibly dense, gritty universe of The Witcher. It's incredible, but it was the juxtaposition of a character who's very like, he's such a what's the word? How do I say this? Like, he almost is like your created character because of how and he's grizzled, but he's very much like, you could just inject yourself into this experience as this character because of how just sort of one note he is a lot of the times, but at the same time he just is the universe too. Like, you can't have The Witcher without Geralt of Rivia. And I don't know, I'm just keep thinking about it. I'm like, am I gonna even feel like this is the same, like, am I gonna get the same vibe like when I'm playing a Ciri? And I love Ciri. Ciri is such a great character. Honestly, can anyone name any character that's bad? And not like as a villain bad, but like, can anyone name a badly written character in The Witcher at all? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was is it Radovid? Is it Radovid, the one who you find in The Witcher 3, dude? And he's sitting on the boat and he's playing chess, like the evil villain. He's like, yes, it's just like pawns falling over for, and it's just the most cliche. Like, all he needed was a mustache that he could twirl as he's playing. That is, I mean, listen, I love it because it's so cartoonish, and but I would say that is like the most absolute I'm not saying he's badly written overall,
but
because I think he's very like.
Sorry.
I think it plays into the way, you know, because as far as I remember, again, it's been a while since I beat The Witcher 3, and the political stuff at the time when I played it, admittedly, the political stuff kind of confused me a lot because I didn't spend enough time learning about it. Like, yeah, I didn't know the world well. So, but as far as I remember, Radovid was supposed to be like young, immature, like a bit cocky and just kind of overconfident. That was my assumption, or that what I thought I remember. Am I right? Wrong? Is that Radovid?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, Radovid is the one on the boat, and he goes kind of insane because he's like way too young to be king. It's like one of those situations. I think if you feel like you don't like him as a character, I think that might be a sign of good writing good writing for a villain, for like a character like you're not supposed to like him, if that's how you're feeling about him. Sorry,
I just thought he was cartoony the way he presented himself.
Okay. Sorry, I'm doing a poll here because I am curious. Do you guys?
I'll while you do that, I'll just jump in. When it comes to Ciri taking over, right? Because that's the main thing. I get why people are nervous. You spent so much time with Geralt. I think this is the natural progression. The way I look at it is this is the natural progression. Like, it does go back to Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. You either die here or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So how many games are they supposed to put Geralt as the main focus until it does get to a point where you just look at it and go, my Geralt wouldn't. Inevitably, something is going to happen, and you go, well, my Geralt wouldn't do. Well, this, like, the Geralt I remember, right? Something triggers that nostalgia either, and it could be, a lot of times, it really is that you've grown up, and now you think of something differently than you thought of when you played The Witcher 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So that inherently, now it just doesn't feel the way it did because you're not the same person 10 years later. Yeah, so I think this is a good progression that has to happen. I do believe that CD Projekt Red is a lot smarter, even though some of their staff has changed, like people have moved on and left and, all that sorts of thing. They still have very talented writers there. You still have people, Witcher. CD Projekt Red has two franchises. They have The Witcher. They have Cyberpunk, right? That's it. So if you are applying for a job at CD Projekt Red, either one of, yes, some people I'm sure just want to get their foot in the door and there's an open application. most people, I would, and now it's hard to say this too, because obviously the current state of the game industry with as many layoffs as we've had, people are just looking for jobs. So I understand conditions are very different than they were, 10 years ago. But ideally, in an ideal world, people are applying to CD Projekt Red not because, hey, I like first-person shooters and I've worked on Call of Duty before. Let me go now work on Witcher. Let me now go work on Cyberpunk, right? You're doing that because, hey, you either really like fantasy or you really like, ideally, Witcher. So you go in with respect to the lore, respect to the franchise,
right,
and you want to do justice to its characters. Anybody with half a brain, we saw what happened with Disney and Star Wars. I don't think that's a fair comparison because you have people in charge who clearly didn't know what they were doing. You had Mark Hamill himself going to the writers, going to those and saying, this doesn't make sense. There's so many interviews where he's like, my character wouldn't do this. And you have what's her face looking at it, the now retired
Kathleen
CEO,
Kennedy.
looking at him going,
yeah,
from across the room during the interview because he's
Right.
doing it before, like during the press tour for these things. So we
Right.
know that was they weren't listening. CD Projekt Red, they'll honor the character a lot better, and they're not just gonna kill him off some stupid way. Maybe it's not gonna be in a way that's necessarily satisfying. I doubt that. I do not believe, honestly, and people will disagree with me, that Neil Druckmann came in and said, I'm going to make sure that Joel dies in the most horrible way possible that everybody's going to hate. I don't think that any person, maybe he wanted to be provocative, right? He said, this is going to really shock people.
I know what you mean. I would hope he didn't, but he's been very clear that he wanted it to be shocking and horrifying, and he wanted the players to be angry. He wanted them to feel the anger that Ellie was feeling. So he did it in a way.
Right. But that's different than saying, I want everybody to hate this game by doing something they won't like. Right. I am intentionally going to make sure that people hate my game because I'm going to make this decision. No, he wanted to do something controversial. And I think he was clearly very successful in doing that. That filtered into outrage by a lot of players. Right. That's
you have such a great. It's a great explanation of like things have to evolve in some way. It's the same way that I felt about The Last of Us and about Last Jedi and any other game that starts with last, where it's the time in between. I don't care if Luke Skywalker dies, man. I don't care if Joel dies, man. Let them go out with a bang. That's great, but it's like you wait so long just to deliver what people missed to begin with, right? And I am projecting here. I don't speak for everyone. I'm looking at the poll right now, and everyone's like, I don't give a shit. But so far. But at the end of the day, it is Geralt. Like, whenever people think about The Witcher, they think about Geralt, and they think about The Witcher 3. And I'm curious to know, like, and again, I want to feel differently. I want to feel differently. I'm not set in my ways. I'm just, lately I've been playing The Witcher 3 a lot, and I'm like, dude, this is going to be the last time that we ever get this. And the only way for me to get this anymore is to just keep replaying this game every few years, and then eventually get The Witcher 1 remake. And is that going to hit the same, And I feel like it's going to feel like bittersweet. But had we gotten The Witcher 6 years ago, and then now we're getting The Witcher 4, I feel like it would have hit differently, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, we get The Witcher 4 7 years after The Witcher, 6 or 7 years after The Witcher 3, and then The Witcher 4 is series, and it's like, okay, I can, and hey, maybe this DLC is a 30, 40 hour DLC, and it does feel like a better send off, even more than Blood and Wine did, because Blood and Wine did it really great. I still feel like Blood and Wine's ending, without spoiling, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. I still feel like the good ending is kind of like, okay, I guess that's all right. Good for you. I guess that's it. And then little wink at the camera, literally, and you're like, okay, I guess that's how it ends. It wasn't like super overly dramatic and like insane. It was just like, see you later. Bye for now. It's like, okay. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to rant a little bit about it. Because I can't. I'm like imagining playing a series. I'm like, am I gonna be immersed? because Ciri, I think here's the thing. I think because Ciri is such a pivotal character, she is the plot point in the entire series, in the books.
The MacGuffin.
She is literally the MacGuffin. Like, and so I'm not saying I dislike Ciri. It's just that, like, even if they came out and said we're gonna have a the Witcher 4 is gonna be young Vesemir, I'd be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Or like, you're gonna play as Lambert. I'm like, what are we doing? And the reason, because I made a video about this, like, I would have preferred to play as a custom character because it's us. Like, it's us injected into the world, and then you can have whoever the hell you want. Sort of as like the mentor, whether that be Ciri or Geralt or whatever, and that's different, right? And then people can sort of choose, have like the V of the Witcher universe. But obviously they do want to stick to their strengths, and they want to play to the established legacy characters. Yeah, I just don't know how I'm gonna feel.
I mean, to be honest, what I would be concerned about is whether or not it is going to make sense with Ciri, because she is as powerful of a character in the Witcher universe as she is. And obviously that's one of the first things when they settled on Ciri as a character, that they had to say, okay, you know that they thought about this, right? They didn't just go, oh, we'll do it, like, we'll make it work. And, you know, you knew that they sat down, they thought about this, they said, okay, how are we going to make this work? Because she's, as you know, as you said, she's very strong and powerful, and she's the MacGuffin, which is why she's that powerful. So
yeah,
that would be my question, and my concern is, how is this going to be fun? And I think you could, is their justification going to feel validating as a player who, you know, who's seeing the continuation of existing characters? I think the route they might go is, well, she took Witcher trials and that muted her powers or something along those lines. That would be my guess.
Or she like relinquishes her powers again, like she did in the books at the Tower of Swallows.
Willingly.
Yeah, like she might just say, I'll do it. I'm done with it. And then now, Witcher me.
Witcherize me, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick that trial of grasses in there. Just shove it all right in.
Yeah. Really good point. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's. We don't want to see. There's nothing, because at the end of the day, the games are told from, you know, Geralt's perspective. Even though you have agency within it and you kind of choose your Geralt, it's told from Geralt's perspective. And how many times can they do that while still keeping it fresh and interesting? And I would say the True 77.
I'm gonna say that to my wife.
Like,
Witcher me.
they now you are able to go into this game with a brand new perspective, because it is going to be Ciri's view on the world, and you, as someone who's read the books, are going to have a deeper appreciation for that. It allows you to experience the universe of The Witcher differently. I mean, even when you go through the segments in The Witcher 3 as Ciri, then you have those playable moments.
Mm-hmm.
It has a different tone to it, right? The way she speaks to, I mean, the first thing you do is help a little girl out. Like, the way she speaks to them, the way she addresses the world, the way she talks to people around her, the cutscenes that she's in, it really sets a whole new tone, in my opinion, in a good way. And so that, how many games do you want? Fuck.
Shit.
Wind's howling.
Shit. Wind's
You know, how many times can they keep doing that while still keeping it interesting? I would say they did it perfectly for 3 games. You still have those; they're never gonna go away. You have the remake, and I'm gonna stop before I keep repeating myself.
No, you're totally. And Fonz was saying, Fonz, good to see you in chat, bro. Fonz has got his show in 17 minutes, so go check out his show. He says Neil without Bruce Straley sucks for writing that franchise. I don't trust Neil Druckmann. Yeah, you're not alone in.
Yeah, I know we had a conversation with that when Holly was on the show, and she was talking about how we had a conversation about writers keeping themselves in check, right? They can't be the creatives and the writers and the this and the that.
Yeah.
You need someone to balance them out.
Rein them in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We've had that
Arrow
conversation.
Nation says, sounds like the Riddler. Witcher me this, Batman. He's like, excuse me? I feel a lot better about it, because, I can imagine, like, emotional scenes with Ciri, like, because you think about, like, what she went through, like, with Kelpie, like, in the desert and stuff like that, like, in the books, and, like, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot, and, like, just looking at how good The Witcher 4 looks, You know what? I take it back. I like women again. Anyway, I appreciate your appreciate your thoughts on that. Because I need to. I was gonna do a video about this, and I'm like, all I'm gonna get in the comments is people telling me to stop bitching and crying and calling me a bigot or whatever. So I'd rather just talk about it here because I can respond to people. It doesn't look like anyone's upset. So who cares? All right, I'll end this poll. Actually, no, I'll leave the poll up just for a little bit.
Speaking of Witcher Me This Batman, I did not recently, but recently-ish, I went through the Telltale Batman games. Dude, those are really good.
Dude, have you never played them?
I watched someone play them. I never did it myself, but I sat down. I was like, I'm gonna play them. They are really.
It might be my favorite Batman story. I can't remember. It was like one.
I'm sorry, Arkham City exists. Calm down there, Skid Row, all right? Like
it is incredible. It's just that the Telltale series was so gritty and brutal. It's full on rated R. Whatever the one with Two-Face and Catwoman. I think that's 2.
Catwoman's in both of them. Two-Face is primarily the first, because the first is the Sons of Arkham.
That's right. Yeah.
The Children of Arkham. Yeah.
And Riddler with his Riddler cane, stabbing people backwards.
He's 2. Yeah, he's in the second. He's the second. Yeah, it was really good.
God, yeah, those games are so good, man. Like, just incredible. And I love how they took the idea of what Batfleck was doing with his voice changer, but they made it sound really good in the games. Isn't that Roger Clark? No. Who voices Batman in that game?
Troy Baker.
Is it Troy Baker? Okay,
Troy Baker.
Why am I not surprised?
Because Troy Baker's done both the Joker now and Batman, which is
right.
Hysterical.
He's incredible. He was such a good Joker, man. He did Mark Hamill's Joker. Like, he just said,
younger
I'm not gonna
Joker.
Do my thing.
It was
Brucey. Yeah, it was so good. It's so good. Let me end this poll here. Shout out to 76 people watching. I sincerely, please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. The podcast has been really. I say it every week, but I'm just so happy to see so many people hanging out with us and just chilling out. It sincerely means a lot. So please do hit the like button. It's free. Let's get to what are we at right now? Where are we at? How many likes do we have? Let me tell you. I'll tell you. We have 17 likes and 80 people watching. Come on, guys. Come on. Thank you guys so much. Either way, if your thumbs don't work, I'll forgive you. It's totally fine. DeMarco, you just put out a great video, as always, about the Elder Scrolls 6. So now we're going to talk about the Elder Scrolls 6.
I could do that for hours.
Let's do it for 7 hours straight. Here we go.
Okay.
So it's so funny because, again, as I said in the starting of the show, I've been playing a lot of Skyrim because I just needed something feel good. Skyrim, Bethesda games are just the best for that. You just sit back and just jump into the world and you're just do whatever the hell you want all the time. And so I've been thinking about the Elder Scrolls. And exactly, that's the next topic. But after this one, because we don't really get games like that anymore, where you can just jump in and do whatever you want, and or games that try to do it and they don't do it well. Even like Starfield, like I wish that Starfield had more bad guyism stuff. Like, and it's not like Skyrim has a whole lot of that, but at least it has factions that are geared towards being a bad guy. You have the Crimson Fleet in Starfield, right? And I haven't even finished that. I think I started that quest after 750 hours in Starfield, which is like rookie numbers compared to some people. Still haven't even started that quest. I started it and then didn't follow through with it. I was like, I'm a good guy. I don't want to do this yet. But anyway, the Elder Scrolls 6. You put out a great video. A similar type of series that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's not necessarily a wishlist series, but you had this really great thoughtful video talking about. It's your part 1, right? Talking about your ultimate Skyrim. I'm saying in a wish list, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but it is. But it is things that you want to be in the game compared to the other, to Skyrim and Oblivion and whatnot. So off the top of your head, let's just have fun with this. Off the top of your head, what is one of the biggest things the Elder Scrolls has to nail, the Elder Scrolls 6 has to nail for you personally? Like, what's the first thing that you go, oh, if it doesn't have that, I'm scared. I'm scared. Like, for me, it has to be. It's so difficult. It's so difficult. I think for me, it does have to be like. How do I even? What's the word for it? Not diversity, but the you know, you
I
go
can't
first.
help you. I have
can't
no
even
idea.
think of the, I cannot think of the word to use. It's how the branch. I'm literally having a stroke live on air. You go ahead. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. Go ahead. This is great. This is great content. This is why you guys subscribed, right? Thank you. Thank you all so much. Basically, it is how the agency, player agency. It's about how.
Okay. You got there.
You had a really great. Thank you.
He got there. He did it.
Thank you.
He did it.
Thank you. Here, let's give me a round of applause.
Trophy.
We're gonna. There we go. We got there, everyone. All right. It's about going where you want, doing whatever you want. I'm not necessarily concerned about it, but one of the biggest issues, or sorry, one of the biggest things that I usually have to mod in Skyrim is systems in the game, little systems that no one gives a shit about. Like I just mentioned, if I want to go be a fisherman, I can just do that, right? And the game's not going to tell me otherwise. If I want to go chop wood for the rest of my life for 100 hours straight, I can literally do that. I'm really curious in how there's little systems in the game. Like I've never been concerned about the main quest line in any Bethesda game. I really never have, because none of them have ever really been like, oh my god, this is incredible. Now, like maybe at the time, like going to Sovngarde in Skyrim, that was so cool. It was so cool, but then you beat it and then you start over a new character and you're like, all right, anyway, I'm never gonna do that again. And it's not that they're bad, it's just that's not what you play Bethesda games for. So for me, it definitely is player agency in little systems, like just little things, like the things that people have modded into Skyrim. I feel like those types of things should just be in the game. Like, and I know I'm obsessed with this, DeMarco. I know I am. Survival elements, give it to me day one from Bethesda. Just a little bit obsessed with it. Give me those survival elements right off the bat. Let me disable fast travel. It's just options, just little stuff like that to let you live in their world. Starfield didn't do very good. It's one of my biggest issues with Starfield, which is why I cannot play unmodded Starfield anymore, is because you just bouncing all over the universe, just teleport, and I'm like, I don't want to teleport anymore, dude. If you guys go Google an image of Fallout 4 map with all the icons discovered, and you tell me you are not gonna teleport everywhere, it's like you can't even see the map. There's so many icons. Anyway, sorry, I ranted. I finally got to my point after I had a little stroke. But you go ahead, DeMarco.
You did good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's in my video. It's definitely. I started with. So my video came out today. I started with those two things because they're what I think are the two most important elements of the game. And the first one is unequivocally the world. So when you're exploring through any BGS game, with the exception really of Starfield, it's the world that draws you in. It's the world that sparks your curiosity. And that's made up of a bunch of little parts. That's made up of the dungeons that you have, the cities that you can go to, the NPCs that live in it, right? There's
the cozy little villages in the woods. Composed of...
Yeah, it's composed of all of those parts, which are, topics on their own, right? Those are different elements on their own. You can look at NPCs in Starfield, and they make up the world, but it's not done as well as even in Oblivion, right? I showed a clip in that video where there's an NPC, and I found her just randomly walking down the road, and she was an orc. She came from, I think it was Cheydinhal, and she was near the Imperial City, and then I looked her up, and on Wiki it just says, on Thursdays, she will collect skooma from this guy, and then she will travel down the Gold Road, and she'll go to the Imperial City from Cheydinhal, which is all the way on the other side of the world, and then she'll travel down this road, and she'll meet with this guy, and she'll trade with him. She'll sell all her skooma. She'll get whatever gold he has, and then she'll go back and, meet with this other guy. And it's just like, what the... fudge was Bethesda thinking? Because
insane,
there
yeah.
is a 0.0001% of people that are going to be like, let me follow Ogrosh Grow Mush and see what she's doing on a Thursday.
Ogrosh Grow Mush, which is probably, you probably nailed that.
That's her name.
It is true. Yeah. It's a really good point.
But so there's different ways you can do it, right? And that's a subsystem. I don't know if you want to thank Biff Ronaldi.
Biff Ronaldi for 10 months. Thank you so much for being a member, bro. I sincerely appreciate the support. Thank you so much for being a channel member. It says, Red, I have about 100 more hours than you, but 200 hours less than Colt in Starfield. Yeah, in game adaptation was saying, no wonder you have so many hours without fast travel. It's true. It really is true, and I love it 100 times more without fast travel.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, you can that is the great thing about Bethesda games. You can sink so much time into it, doing literally nothing but just being in the world, listening, hearing the music, and seeing the characters. Like, dude, I haven't spent this much time in Riverwood I haven't spent this much time consistently in Riverwood. I'm essentially just living there, and I have like a little camp like right outside of Riverwood, because sometimes I'm like 10 gold. I can't really do 10 gold right now. It's the way I play games. If I would ever stream a Starfield or Skyrim for you guys, you could be like, this sucks. Like, what are we doing here?
You need to do hard. The title needs to be like hardcore ASMR realistic
right.
sim playthrough.
Ultra modded simulation. Yeah. But yeah, they're really great for sinking time into. But yeah, thank you, Biff. I really appreciate it. So he says Fable's gonna do that. Yeah, let's hope. I really hope so.
Fable looks really promising with that system, and it's why, like, when it comes to Elder Scrolls 6, I mean, the world's the most important thing, that they get that right, and that, to me, we talked about this with Colts. I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, last week, but yeah. 2 weeks ago, we talked about it where I don't want to see any of the shipbuilding stuff, so I'm not going to pound that point. I don't want ships, boats, none of that, like sailing, piracy, mechanics. I don't want, just give me one province, flesh out the dungeons. The map can be like 10% bigger than Skyrim's. They don't need to chase this Crimson Desert size map or Red Dead Redemption size map. You know, that's just, they don't need to do that, right? Because where their strength lies is in this really tight thing, and I've had people in my comments before go, well, they just make the map small and they need a point of interest every 6 inches because it's a ADD gamer, and it's like, no, it's not. It's just making the world actually fun. And you think about it, right? Red Dead Redemption, if you go in the wrong direction because you're like, I'm not going to use the map, I'm going to try to find my way back to Valentine, and then you go 5 minutes in the wrong direction, then you're like, well, and you just kind of slam your hands because now you got to go 5 minutes back in the other direction. And it's not like anything interesting is going to happen. It's just 10 minutes of wasted time. And I can only sit down for an hour. Great. That's like 1/6 of the time I could play the game. So, and that doesn't seem like a lot, but you know, it does. When you do that a couple times, versus you do that in Skyrim and you're like, oh my god, I found that ruin, I gotta take note of this thing, I found a hidden treasure over here, I got into this random encounter. Yeah, it was just bandits or a thief on the road attacking me, but I got into that little encounter. Yeah, it's happened 7 times before, but it was something, and it can happen because I'm not going 5 minutes to see a guy get kicked by a horse in Red Dead, which I can't tell you how many times I saw that one in Red Dead 2. Yeah. The guy's shooing the horse, and then he gets kicked by it.
And he goes, Jesus. Yeah.
I've seen that 100 times. And so I don't mind getting attacked by the thief because I know that that's not the only thing I'm going to see for the next 15 minutes of sprinting on my horse. Right. You know, and I love Red Dead Redemption 2. Don't get I like it, and I play that game for a very different reason, and I like the open world there, just for very different reasons.
Yeah, shout out to BT Maverick. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Sincerely appreciate that, BT. BT, you're a incredibly nice guy. Sincerely appreciate it. Says Red, what was your take on Silent Hill Townfall? I don't know. I'm glad. As you guys know, I love Silent Hill. Shout out to BT Maverick, who gifted me Silent Hill 2, which I need to stream sometime. Number one, it's in first person, and that's not necessarily to say that it's going to be bad because of that, or like it's going to be. It's just that from what I saw of it, it seemed like a AA Silent Hill or something. Like it kind of reminded me of the Silent Hill Messages or whatever, Blood Message or whatever it was called that we got a few years ago, where it didn't have like the depth or something. There was something about it that just felt not as like in terms of quality. It just didn't feel like a Silent Hill game. It felt like this is gonna sound so stupid, but it reminded me of like how I felt whenever I saw Redfall compared to Dishonored from that team.
That's
it
fair.
was like
Fair.
I know what Silent Hill should look like, and like I know what it should look like based off of what Silent Hill F and Silent Hill 2 looks like, especially the remakes, obviously, Silent Hill 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you see this first-person version of Silent Hill, and it just sort of like shoved you in. Here's the new character. Here's the combat. And it was just a lot at once. And I'm like, this is gonna be like an 8-hour Silent Hill game or something. It's gonna be like a $30 Silent Hill, and so that's how I feel about it. But I need to see more. It's just and I'm a huge Silent Hill fan, so I will be playing it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm excited to try it out, but from what I saw, like I did the live reaction here, and I was like, okay, that's Silent Hill. Okay, all right.
It
So
looks like kind of.
it kind of looks like it. Yeah, I'm interested in the character because he has like an IV in his arm, and it's like, what is his trauma? Because Silent Hill is all about trauma and grief and stuff. So maybe he's a patient that's dealing with mortality. You never know. You never know. That's really what I'm always most interested in Silent Hill games is the character and what they're going through. So, but not to get too far off track. Guys, there's almost 150 people here watching us right now, which is insane. Thank you all so much. If you're new here, I sincerely appreciate it. This is a weekly podcast. We go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about all things RPGs, Bethesda games, and whatever else is going on. So please consider hitting the like button at the least and subscribe at the most. That would be fantastic. Thank you all so much. Thank you. But yeah, thank you. So you were talking about the world being really important. I'm just gonna piggyback off of your entire video, but
That's
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go. I mean, listen, please go support the video.
Yes,
because
and your link is in the description below, by the way.
After the show.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a series where I'm going to go through, and it's not meant to be a wish list, right? Because it's not like it does have that element to it where it's like, I want to see this and I would like to, right? I would like to see them go back, but it's really meant to, yeah, there's that, but it's really meant to just look at like, hey, you had these really good things in Oblivion. You had these really good things in Skyrim. I touch a little bit on the Fallout games too. That's where your strengths are. Lean into that. And
right.
I'm intentionally staying away from Starfield, right? Because obviously that's very divisive. And that's being said, there's some things that I think Starfield did well too, but people won't acknowledge it because it gets buried under the rest of the game that they don't like. So they just assume that a lot of people just label the whole thing as bad, which is unfortunate because I think when it comes to Elder Scrolls 6, Bethesda has all the pieces. Right, they can look at. They've had enough time where they can look at Baldur's Gate 3. Even Bruce Nesmith in his interview, he was like, people said they want more hardcore RPG mechanics. Now he's retired, but he said they want more hardcore stuff. Look at the success of BG3. He said they want like skill points. They did really good. Look at the success there. So they have examples. They can look at what Fable did. Or what Fable and how people responded to Fable. They can look at what worked with all their past games. This is going back to a familiar world. It's not like Starfield where it's a new IP. There's so many areas they can pull from and say, this is how we're going to build the ultimate game for Elder Scrolls. It's just a matter if they execute on that. But it starts with the world. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, because like whenever I think about Skyrim, I picture Whiterun. I picture Riverwood. I picture Falkreath. Like, I don't think about Jarl Balgruuf. like I don't think about like too many characters. It's not the first thing that I think about. Thank you so much to Game Seeker. That is so nice of you, bro. Thank you so much. Gifted 5 channel memberships. That's insanely nice. Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate that. He gifted a membership to Razor Ends, United BT, John Bon Zombie, C Diesel, and 127 Yankees. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, man. That is incredibly nice. Thank you. Thank you. And Iron Balls. Thank you for being here, man. I don't think I've ever seen you here. It says, hey, people, what's up? Sincerely appreciate
Hey, all you people. Hey, all you people.
Yeah.
Hey, all you people that are watching the stream.
Hey,
You've just tuned into Red Wolf. It's no ordinary Red Wolf. He's the only Red Wolf. Okay.
That's true. That is true.
By Azura, by Azura, by Azura.
Zora, I can't believe it's you here.
Streaming
next to
here.
me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sincerely, shout out to almost 200 people now watching us.
I feel
which
like I
is
need to like
insane.
lick my lips whenever that happens. Next to me.
Next to me.
I can't believe it's you.
Yeah. Little ASMR for yeah, we should just change the theme music to just Oblivion. Dun, 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 dun. I just
But any
finished my
news?
playthrough. Like, dude, I watched a God. I watched a compilation of Oblivion Remastered. It was like Oblivion Never Change, or I think it's called something like that. And it's just like a compilation of people streaming Oblivion. It's just the most hilarious moments where like this guard like runs up to the player character and he's like, "Stop right there, Crip. Have a good day, citizen." Turns around, just runs away, and it's like, what the fuck? It's just random stuff like that. Then I saw another one today. Another actually
Dude,
right before the show. It was this Khajiit comes out of the bush. He's like a highwayman. And he's like, "Give me your money if you want to pass." And you like give him the 100 gold. And then he like runs off into the bush, and he comes back out of the bushes, and the leaves are like covering his face, and he's like, "Oh, hi there. I didn't see you coming to the right." It's like, what are we doing, man? It never gets old.
My
It never
favorite-
gets old.
Dude, my favorite is you can look at like you talk to the I don't know why it's specifically the beggars, but you'll go talk to a beggar and they'll be like, "Spare a coin for the infirm."
And then you
And
give
then
it to
you'll-
him.
No, well, that too. But you'll ask rumors, and they'll be like, "Spare a coin for the infirm." I've heard that the high elves in Hygara. Thank you, kind.
Thank you, kind sir.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, like, "Thank you, citizen."
And
Spare a coin, Chad. It's like, oh, you went right back to your grifting.
thank you, citizen.
Yeah, exactly. Like they forgot to sound pathetic. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And the other one
Oh,
too. The other one too. Well, thank. Go ahead and yeah.
Colt Eastwood, bro, y'all stop it. Colt Eastwood, thank you so much, bro. That is incredibly generous. Y'all are gonna make me poop right on stream, right live on stream. It says Renegade Realm is absolutely killing it. Yes, thank you so much. It's been I've been saying it lately. It's been wild, the blow up of the show lately. The support has just been insane. Lots of people just want to have fun and talk about RPGs and Bethesda games, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're gonna keep doing for as long as we can. Yeah, sincerely appreciate that. 20 Colt, you did not have to do that. You guys are so nice. It's amazing. Thank you. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you, kind sir.
That's
Thank
what
you,
I
kind
say.
Spare
One
a
of the
view
things
for the infirm.
one of the things that you talked about in your video got me thinking, and it actually touches on what my point was earlier, which was
Before
yeah,
you
go ahead.
get to that, just another. I was recording footage for Oblivion too to for that video, and there's a quest for the Fighters Guild where you need to deliver weapons to some characters in a cave, and then you bring it to them. And I love it because you could give like the orc, you have a choice between a sword or a hammer, and like you could give the orc the sword, and he'll be like, "Nah, what am I supposed to do with this?" Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But you give them their weapons, and then you go into this cave, and for some reason the goblins in this cave were absurdly high level for my character, and I go in, and all of them, like all these 3 characters that are like, "I can't wait to crush some goblin heads," they just run straight past all the goblins to the back of the cave, and then I'm sitting there swinging my sword, doing no and when you swing swords in Oblivion, you're basically just swinging a pool noodle. I love it. So you're just like swinging my pool noodle around. That sounds really appropriate.
Right.
That's what she.
No, that's how we
swing-
do it here.
So
Yep.
I'm swinging my pool around in Oblivion, and it's just doing no damage to them. There's 5 goblins that are trapping me, and I'm trying to run away. They get me into a corner. They're all just like jumping on top of me, and these 3 guys that were like, I can't wait to go kill all the goblins. They're just no. And then I see one of them. I'm like, there's hope. I see one of them, and it's the archer, the one with the bow, and she runs up, and I'm in this corner, and I'm just holding my shield, just absorbing every blow, and I see her run up, and then just stand there, and
Oh, God, it's terrifying. You're like, what is
As
about to
they're
come
all-
out of her mouth? Right. And then everything's like paused in the background, so you'll have like a goblin over their shoulder, like you're like, what do we're trying to have a conversation here. Yeah. Oblivion is so great in that way.
there's things too in that game. Just I know you have another thing, but there's things in that game too. Like there were bridges that could collapse. It happened. Like you'll be, and it's so simple, but you're walking, and then the bridge will collapse underneath you, and you get dropped to the floor below. I don't remember that ever happening in Skyrim or the traps. I know
Yeah,
you
the
have your
traps.
swinging blade traps, right? And Skyrim had the arrows and the things that would go like the big logs, or it would be a mammoth skull or something. But in Oblivion, you have gas traps, and the walls would go up, and you'd get that happened in my footage. So the walls go up, and you get stuck in this chamber with this poisonous gas coming out.
Yeah.
Like,
The
what
famous-
happened to that stuff?
The famous like
Where'd it
ceiling
go?
smash trap that would like push you up to the ceiling. Hello,
Yeah.
my citizen. Oh, God, there's like yeah, you already know the video, yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like it, I feel, and that's another thing. Like with the Elder Scrolls 6, like the dungeon design, there has to be. I mean, it's so funny. Like in Oblivion, the dungeon was created by one dude. Like all the dungeons were created by one dude.
Yeah.
And for its time, like I guess I never really noticed it, other than the overall like idea of entering a dungeon. It had a similar thing halfway through that you could expect, and then you know that you were halfway near the end whenever you encountered like a high level enemy or whatever. Skyrim does that in a similar way, but the dungeon design was a little bit better than that. And
Yes, more
hopefully-
linear.
and it's
yes.
so funny, like playing through The Witcher 3, just as like an example, whenever you realize how much you've done in 100 hours, how much like you lose so much of the repetition because of how many things that you're doing back to back. Sorry, how many dungeons that you're interacting with back to back. Whenever I jumped into The Witcher 3 again to play, I was level 27 and I had like whatever 130 hours or whatever in this one character. I went back and looked at my completed quest list. I had like 146 quests complete, and I'm level 27. Haven't even like. I hope that whatever the Elder Scrolls 6 does in terms of its dungeons, that they just say, keep making dungeons, keep going. We're aiming for 1,000, 10,000 dungeons. No, yeah, something like
Million dungeons.
100,000 digital-dos. But yeah, because the dungeon design, I feel like it's really important. Like you want to have like a memorable. It's the same thing. And this is the thing. Whenever we talk about Starfield, the first time that I saw that effing cryo lab, I was like, this level is amazing. It's amazing. It really is. It's a really well designed level. It's super dense. You can crawl through the vents, or you don't have to. Or like if you have a good enough jetpack, you can jump up and like grab a ledge that you're not supposed to get to and like flank enemies. And then you discover it again. You're like, F, man, F. If they have like that level of design for the Elder Scrolls 6 in terms of the quality of dungeons, that would be amazing.
It's funny because I said this the other time too, which is that the locations you could go to in Starfield are kind of memorable. Not all of them, but the ones that they have are kind of memorable in terms of their layout and their design. And that actually works to the game's disadvantage, because if it was, now they can't do what Oblivion did obviously in 2026 or 20. When did Starfield? 2022? Did it come out? I should know this. It was recent.
2023.
3. I really should know that.
September 7th, 2023.
And 20.
That's how forgettable it was for me. Sorry, Bethesda. Yeah, so like they did a good job. You can't do the caves in 2023 the way they did in Oblivion where everything's the same, but that would have actually
Yeah.
worked to the game's advantage in a lot of ways because it would have been forgettable. You're like, all right, I'm just gonna go in here, kill some guys, get some loot, and hop out. Which, keep in mind, yeah, that all those dungeons in Oblivion were made by one person, but what people wanted in games has changed so much since then. I think people fail to realize a lot of times when they have conversations about this sort of stuff, and they, I'm getting a bit off topic here, but they'll have conversations like Bethesda's design was never that good. Look at all the dungeons in Oblivion, and even in Oblivion Remastered, they sucked. And you go, yeah, well, like if you think about D&D, right, which is where Elder Scrolls, like original Elder Scrolls, was inspired. Those systems were D&D inspired systems, right? That's where it came from. And then you think about what D&D was like back in the 90s and earlier. Oblivion came out 2005. It was more about just getting cool loot and leveling up, right? When you go and play a D&D campaign now, there's, especially since Matt Mercer stepped in and did like Critical Role, the expectation is now really heavy storytelling and really heavy lore, but that's actually a pretty recent thing. So the design back then worked because it served the purpose. The dungeons existed just so I can level up and get cool stuff.
Right.
And I could find a magic ring at the end of it, or I could find some magic armor or an enchanted sword or that sort of thing. So it really worked back then, which is just an interesting shift in the principles of what they need to focus on with game design, which is why I bring that up. But sorry, that's a big tangent.
No, it's not. It's a really good point, and I feel like the more, like, if you focus on quality with, let's just say out of 100%, you focus on quality, like at least like 65 to 70% of your dungeons are more intricate. They're varied in their aesthetic more. Then you can actually get away with those other dungeons that are simply a cave, right? And because then you know that eventually you're going to bump into something else that's just completely different. Who was it? American Fury says, I wish Starfield had better environmental storytelling. They had a floating casino and they didn't expand on that. That was a really good example of like something really unique. And like I remember running into that floating casino where the gravity was out, and it was so unique. And I was like, we're gonna get more of this. And then you never saw anything like that ever again. But
It's
it would have
literally
been okay.
that Star Wars meme. We're gonna see more of this, right? Right?
Wait, what is? Oh, right.
It's
Yeah.
Anakin and Padme sitting in the field, and he's like, "I'm gonna put in this really cool like location. We're gonna see more unique places like that, right?"
Right, and he's like, yeah. It's so true. It's so true. But yeah, like, and I'm gonna keep bringing up The Witcher only because I'm playing it right now. Like, you run into like this elven ruin. Like, it starts off as a cave, and you're like, it's just a cave, and then you dive underwater, and then you come up, and it's just like this completely desolate elvenish ruin.
I know the one
you have,
about, yeah.
You know, right? Like where you have to like avoid the gas traps and stuff.
Story, right?
I think it is. I think it is part of the story. Like it's up. It's like
You're going
almost
with.
half...
Is that where you're going with Kira Mitz, and there's like portals everywhere?
No. But it is that type of aesthetic. It is that exact like it actually looks very similar to that. But I'm specifically talking about one. It's the same thing. Same example. Same example, like, so it starts off as something that you feel like, oh, it's just another cave, but it doesn't bother you because you have that potential in the back of your head. Like this, in your subconscious, you're like, this could turn into something really great and really interesting, something that I haven't seen before. But because the quality is there at the forefront with your first few encounters with the game, with its dungeons and its environments, that expectation is there. That's where Starfield, I feel like, failed for a lot of people because it had these. It was really front loaded with these great set pieces and really cool environments, and then if you go off the beaten path, it sort of just falls off. So anyway, one of the things that you touched on in your video, I thought about. It's exactly what I was talking about earlier when I couldn't think of when I was having a stroke. Y'all remember that earlier in the stroke?
That was today.
Yeah, that was today. I was talking
for all
about
you
player
TikTok
agency.
brainers out there.
Exactly. For all you millennials out there. Wait, are we millennial? Wait. I'm
I don't
91.
know.
Who cares?
I'm
Anyway.
like 80.
Okay. I was talking about player agency and being able to like live in the world and do what you want and go where you want. You brought it up in the form of factions, and you brought up. I don't want to spoil DeMarco's whole video because you guys need to go watch it. Please go watch it. But essentially, without just being vague about it, you brought up the idea of having agency as a role playing as a character, but it was based around factions. So, like, what I would say, if I were to say what you were to say, in my own words, I would say, I would like to be a farmer and just be able to live my life as a farmer, or I would like to be a shopkeeper where I build up a shop and I get to travel from place to place trading my goods, or I want to be a, you know, whatever, insert whatever example you want to give. And I thought that was such a great idea because I don't feel like the guilds for me in Elder Scrolls games, they become so formulaic. You sort of just know where they're going. Like, I just completed Oblivion Remaster's Assassin's Guild, which I loved, by the way. I put like 30 hours just alone in that quest line. But then after you get to a point and you're like, okay, you're going to get to a point where someone's going to betray you and you got to go off and you got to do the thing, and then you end up being the guild master. It's like, all right, well, I'm done with that. Off to the Mages Guild. All right, well, your initiative, something's going wrong. Wow, you're more stronger than we thought. Why don't you take on this quest? And then halfway through, you're like, oh, someone betrayed us. And then before you know it, you're the master of the guild. And then after a while, you're like, how many times can I do this before it doesn't make sense anymore? What happens whenever it doesn't? It's not even called a guild. This is just my take. What if it's not called a guild, but it's just a profession? What if they bring on something called professions or something in the Elder Scrolls 6, where you're allowed to be a fisherman? And that is like, you can genuinely take on jobs like one mod that I use in Elder Scrolls 6 is called Missives. It's a missives board. It's essentially like a notice board. And you can do all kinds of fetch quests. You can find missing people. You can hunt. You can do deliveries. You can do bounties. You can do monster hunting. You can do all kinds of stuff. And it just adds to the world without making you feel like every single thing that you do in the world, it's you as the chosen one saving some big faction or whatever. And that is something that I would love to see changed. Even if it's not something that's changed dramatically, like we're getting rid of guilds, or we're not calling them guilds anymore. We're calling them something else. Like, I still want guilds. But just to elaborate on one of the things that you brought up in your video, that is something that I would really, really love to see. Oh God. 78 ink. Thank you so much. Insane, man. Thank you guys so much. 5 gifted memberships. That is insanely nice. I need to keep my. I tried to do my.
Got your ass.
Buy
Azura, buy Azura, buy Azura.
Thank you. There we go. Thank you so much for gifting 5 channel members. That is insanely generous of you. Channel memberships went out to Brother 613, Radio Mac Gaming, Carlton, CC 58721, and Zony 79. Sincerely, wait, are you Zone 79 like the modder 79? I feel like I say that every time I see somebody with the name Zone, I'm like, are you Zone? Like,
are you
modder?
Zone?
Are you the
I'm
Zone?
a Zone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sincerely. Oh, Dave Goodrich is in chat as well. Good to see you, bro. He says it's over 300. Impossible. Impossible, Kakarot. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, love it. I love the Vegeta. I didn't know you were a DBZ fan. I mean, that's literally me right now. This is the most that I've ever had in any live stream in my entire life. So, sincerely appreciate everyone being here. There's 330 people here.
33333
and 32 likes. Something's off. It's free. Please. No, you don't have to. If you can't reach the thumbs up button, it's okay. I know it's a long way away, but sincerely, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's insane. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why YouTube decided today's the day. But yeah, it's a great day to do it. Let's see. American Fury says, even if they had more audio logs, it would have made a huge difference. There were locations where you find dead crew members and try and piece together what happened to them. That didn't happen enough. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you would find derelict ships were one of my favorite things in Starfield. And you would come across like an audio log, and it's like, what happened here? And then you find out it was like some alien creature that they were smuggling, and it broke out and killed everyone. That kind of stuff was so cool. But at the same time, it's like, how many derelict ships can we have where people are hauling aliens? Imagine if we ran across like 10 of those, it would make it feel less special. But if
the people hauling the aliens,
yeah,
the people hauling the aliens got attacked, and then more people decided, they were like, well, I guess these guys didn't make it back, so now we gotta go haul aliens. And then they went to haul aliens without checking on what happened to the other guys hauling aliens. They just sent more out to haul more aliens, and it just, this cycle.
That's true. And then you find. Right, and then you find out that one of the guys that were hauling the aliens left, and now he got captured by Crimson Fleet, so now they're hauling the guy who was hauling aliens to find more aliens to haul.
To find more aliens to haul, yeah.
Exactly.
And they're not listening. The Crimson Fleet, they're not listening to that guy. They're not going to listen to him. He's a prisoner. So they go haul more aliens.
Yeah, you go. Exactly. Bat Rastard, I love that name, says, I've been watching everything about Crimson Desert, and you were recommended. That's really good to know. I've been wanting to do a Crimson Desert video because this channel is revolved around RPGs. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing, because that would be great. I do cover all things RPGs, just like my friend DeMarco here does as well. His link is in the description below. Go subscribe to him as well. He's got incredible Crimson Desert content. You might click his link in the description and go, oh, I'm already subscribed. Because apparently that happened last week, where it was me, DeMarco, and Colt Eastwood, or the week before last, and they were like, all three of you are here together? Yeah, it's a very small community, but that's really great to know. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, tell me in chat if you guys are new here, like how you found the channel, because that's wild. That's wild how YouTube just does whatever it wants all the time.
And BT's flattering us. He said more people get to find out how cool and positive we are.
That is so nice, man. That is something that we pride ourselves on. Just do a podcast, make videos, hype videos, talking about what we're excited about. Not this doom and gloom. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we'll put out a video like, should we be worried? Like I did with what was it? I don't know what it was.
No.
I think it was. I don't care. I don't know. It was a whole thing. He said, yeah, I subscribed to him yesterday because it was recommended. There you go. There you go. So we're all just a big family here on YouTube.
Welcome, Bat.
Yeah.
I always say though, dude, like this it hurts me more than it helps me, but I always say, look at the other stuff I have on my channel. I don't know, maybe you subscribe to the same philosophy, maybe you unsubscribe from it, whatever you want to do, but look at the other stuff on my channel, and dude, if you look at it and you go, oh, he made a couple Crimson Desert videos, but you know, I don't really care about some of the other things. Like, don't subscribe. Come in, tell me you stopped by. Thanks for watching the video, but like, that doesn't do anything. I say it all the time to you. Subscribers is a vanity metric, and that doesn't mean it's not exciting to get more subscribers and keep growing. Like, it's awesome, but it's more when you have people here like BT shows up every week, and AJ, and now Bat Rastard. I hope we see you, because your name is awesome. I hope we see you more around. True, Game Adaptation, and everyone I'm not mentioning. Colt, you know, everybody I'm not mentioning. Like, that's the good part. That's the juicy stuff, right? It's not about, oh, I got 5,000 people. It's how many people do I see come into the comments and checking out, and they want to see, oh, Red put up a video on Starfield. Like, let me see what he thinks about it. Oh, Red put up a video on Crimson Desert. I want to know what I saw Maddie talked about this, but I want to see what Red says about it. That's like, Chef's, that's what it, you know, is what it really is special. So, and
that is the reason we will talk about Crimson Desert here in just a few minutes. But that is the reason for this podcast. This podcast is to, you know, we make our weekly videos, and then we get to talk to you guys live on the show. The people that just subscribe, the people that we talk to in the comment section, and say, I remember you. I talked to you about Stalker or Starfield or whatever it was, and then here we are. We get to hang out and just talk about gaming, because gaming is about fun. It's about entertainment and escapism, and that's what the show is about too. So I absolutely agree with you, DeMarco. As you know, I do Stalker videos every now and then no Stalker news for 3 months, and then I gotta go right back to, you know, whatever it is, the RPG stuff.
They got Stalker news. There's an update coming.
There's an update coming. Yeah, with which I think I covered it, unless I missed something and I'm a bad. Well, we'll figure it out. But anyway, that's the explanation. So thank you guys so much for being here. consider leaving a like at the least and a sub at the most, and we're going to continue. So anything else about the Elder Scrolls?
I mean, and when it comes to factions, they just need to, you were talking about, your take on factions. I don't. But I would imagine that Bethesda is going to lean more into kind of the sim stuff, right? Because there's two things that Bethesda's been doing in like every single game. They realized, oh, people like this, and they said more. They literally, I swear to God, they have a button, and it just like. It'll just in their office, and Todd Howard, because he's too busy, he can't talk to everybody. We've heard tons of reports about that. So now that he has like his desk is just, I want to imagine his desk is just filled with buttons, and it's all the features he puts in his games. And then anytime that there's one that just takes off and is really popular, he just matches the button on his desk, and it just sounds an alarm somewhere in Bethesda Studios. And there's been 3 or 2 that he's been mashing on his desk: fishing and bounty hunting, because they in Fallout 76 bounty hunting, in Starfield bounty hunting, in Elder Scrolls fishing, in Fallout 76 fishing. I'm surprised there's no fishing in Starfield yet, right? Like
there is.
It just those
Sorry.
There's fishing in Starfield. Yeah. So just those two things in particular, which lean more into the sim elements, and I would be surprised if they didn't do that more. But when I think to how they can expand it, honestly, you have between what Crimson Desert is doing, which, I mean, Bat, if you've been following it, Crimson Desert's doing insane stuff. Now it's not an RPG. Yeah. That's where the difference is, right? It's not trying to be an Elder Scrolls game. It's okay. So we'll get it, but it has all of those things: cooking, crafting, building up the base, right? And your little camp. It's not trying to do, you could make 100 settlements, but you have a settlement you can upgrade. So Elder Scrolls 6 can lean into that stuff. If it comes to factions, I think that's one of the best ways they can do it, because now you have a quest line, right? And if you think to some of the best mods, I'll end it on this. If you think to some of the best mods for Skyrim, usually it introduces some new group, some new organization, and it has a quest line or something built around that. If you think to Sim Settlements for Fallout 4, right? They had an entire group around rebuilding and growing the wasteland and making use out of the outpost system. Helgen Reborn was not necessarily, you actually get to kind of lead a faction that restores Helgen over the course of the mod. That goes back to Fallout New Vegas too. There's a really cool mod with you restore Prim, I think it is, where the Buffalo Bill Casino is in Fallout 4. New Vegas, sorry.
Yep.
So there's a really cool mod, very similar concept, but it's like you're part of kind of a group. You think to even their own DLC, Dawnguard. Dawnguard is all about vampire hunting, but what do? You go join the Dawnguard. You join this faction or the vampires. So do that with merchants. Make a merchants guild. Do the Bard's College, but expand it. You don't need the Bard's College exactly in Elder Scrolls 6, but something similar. Do a merchants guild. East Empire Company. Why wouldn't you do? That's what happened with it
was the mod,
God, what's
right?
King Gath.
King Gath. Yeah, that was him.
They have the Bard's College, but King Gath did the East Empire Company. So now you have this whole thing where you're setting up trading posts all around Skyrim, and you're going and you're appealing to the Jarls, and there's different ways you could do it. You could complete a quest for them. You could blackmail them. Like, you could do all these different things, and you're setting up the East Empire Company again, faction, right?
Right.
That's the way they should do all these things. There's so much opportunity. It can lean into the sim elements. Have a survival and a hunters guild.
Hunters Guild. Oh, dude, that would be so great. And it's like each quest
Have
is
a
like
Hunters
another.
Guild.
It would be like a Monster Hunter. It would be like the Witcher Guild. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then as far as like the mission boards, right? Because I have the same thing. It's called like the notice board, and you could do the bounty quests and just go like it's outside the tavern. You pick up a letter.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Same things.
You you pick up a letter outside the tavern. It says, "Find 3 books or get 2 wolf pelts for me." And you go, "Okay, fine." You can rescue citizens, and that needs to be the thing. Is that this is critical. that needs to be supplemental. That cannot be the core of the design, where they say, look at all the quests you can do, and it's all go find this NPC, go gather these books, go pick these plant ingredients, go like that needs to be go kill this person. That's extra. That's extra.
Right.
The meat is when you could do the faction quest line, and like in Oblivion, you start the Fighters Guild. You need to go kill rats in a basement, or they say there's rats in my basement. You get to the basement, there's a bunch of rats there, but it's mountain lions attacking the rats. And so you got this little twist. It's like those are her pet. The rats are the pets. You got to kill the mountain lions. So that's like the meat. That's the substance. You don't get that from a bounty board that says go kill this character.
And that's exactly right. Like, so
end of rant.
No, and it's so true. Like, oh god, fuck. Like I keep talking about The Witcher, but this is where you deliver something very simple, and this is what The Witcher does with like almost every single quest. It's just simply, my sister's missing, okay, and you're like, all right, where was she last seen? Well, she was in a cave, you know, whatever, or she was out picking flowers or whatever. And
Witcher does it really well.
And then it goes from the sister's missing to you found a piece of her dress to then you track her down into a cave where she's not even a human anymore. She is like a succubus that took over the sister's body that now you have to kill, that now you have to go report to the, and it turns into this whole thing. It's like, all you asked me to do is find your sister. And if they were to implement those kind of things, and because the other issue now, here's something that I will say just to tie this in together. A lot of the times, the reason I personally feel that the Elder Scrolls games the impact isn't really there when it comes to like the delivery of lines and just the impact that's supposed to be there, whether it be emotional or like, oh my god, I can't believe this just happened, really is due in part because of the design philosophy around first person or third person interactions. My favorite dialogue camera was Fallout 4 because it had much more of a Witcher 3-esque style of cinematic. Now, your character was voiced. Even if they didn't have a voice character, I would love that. Something like that.
Have you, I mean, so one thing I will say, and I'll give credit to Fallout 76, bats in the basement. I'll give credit to Fallout 76. They have a lot more interaction where the NPCs are doing things while you're in dialogue.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a good balance for you. I would like to see more of that.
More.
And it
100%.
goes back into, like, Starfield tried to get a little bit of nostalgia with the Oblivion zoomed in camera.
Yeah, exactly.
So this thing is so swivelly, so now I'm gonna be off center and stuff. But so they tried to capture some of that nostalgia. But Skyrim, when Skyrim came out, it was a big deal. I don't know if you remember this, but when they showed the footage for Skyrim, and Todd Howard is on stage and he goes, when you talk to the NPC, they're still moving. And everyone was like, oh my god! Like,
They're
my little
throwing shit
tiny...
across the river. Yeah, exactly.
My 10-year-old brain, I wasn't actually 10, I don't know how old I was, but it was 100 years ago at this point. But my little, like, 7-year-old brain was like, oh my god, this is magical. This is insane. Like, he's still sharpening the axe? How is that possible?
right. Like whenever they're talking to you and they're like, hey, what can I do for you? And they're like sitting there.
And the NPCs are walking behind them and he's, you know, so I imagine that they'll go back to that system because it worked really well in Skyrim. And it was really popular in Skyrim when it got announced. So I have and then they can take in what they did with 76 and they can have the NPCs actually moving around. They played with that in Starfield where, like, I remember it mostly from the Vanguard, when you sign up for the Vanguard and you bring Sarah with you, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't bring her with me because I wasn't doing the main quest whenever I did that. But
well, if you bring her with you, then the guy at the Vanguard will have a conversation with her for a bit, and they'll talk for a little while between themselves. And so Bethesda's toying with that a little bit more. I think we'll see it in Elder Scrolls 6, which is nice to think about. Absolutely.
Shout out to 78 Inc. Gaming. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I sincerely appreciate it. It makes It makes a huge difference. I thank you so much. We need to get you into the Discord. So if you want to become a channel member, you'll get access to the Discord. All you got to do is become a channel member. Then you're there forever. Even if you want to cancel it later on, that's your ticket in. I've always said I want people to want to be there. So we're slowly building the community. So it's incredible to have you here, 78 Inc. I can sincerely appreciate your support in the community. Thank you so much. Speaking of best community, Ion Storm, a $2 euro. Thank you so much. As best community ever. Awesome show. Period. Thank you so much. It really is. It really is. Nefarious Noob. Hey, what's up? Good to see you here, bro. Says it's fire in here today. Good evening, Red and DeMarco, dude. Thank you. It is insane in here today. Almost 500 people watching. Did you ever think we'd ever do a show with 500? I know. It's good.
I don't think I've ever had 500 people in any of my streams. I don't think I crossed over 100 couple times, but rarely.
Yeah.
So
it's
thank you for everybody that's taking the time out of your day to tune in and talk games with us. And if you're just listening or you're chatting, it's all appreciated. It's nice to know that you guys are here.
It is sincerely appreciated. Consider it. I always say, just for the people who are just jumping in, if you're new here, it's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything in the gaming space, namely RPG stuff. So if you're new here, consider leaving a like at the least and a sub at the most. Would appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Gordon had a good question. I wanted to he said, wonder what they'll do with the Mages Guild since it was disbanded after the Oblivion Crisis. Red's gonna go away because okay. I imagine it was disbanded. I imagine since Hammerfell, I actually made a video on this a while ago. I don't know if it's on my current channel though, because I reset at one point the deep DeMarco dude lore. But Hammerfell, and people are thinking maybe it'll also be High Rock. I'm hoping it's just one province, but that's a whole separate discussion. It's interesting because Hammerfell is independent now, so you would get a really cool parallel between Hammerfell and High Rock, with High Rock being part of the Empire, and they might have some semblance of the Mages Guild held on, versus Hammerfell, which has their own version of a magic school. That would be certainly cool, but assuming that it's just going to take place in Hammerfell, which is both my preference and what I'm expecting as well, they'll probably do something different. Probably. It'll be like the College of Winterhold, but Hammerfell's take on it. And I do wonder if that's going to involve, I don't know how well versed you are in Elder Scrolls lore, but that might play into, it's £2. What did Red say that it wasn't pound? Anytime it's a currency other than US dollar, that's why I always just say thank you for the didgeridoos, because I don't know what currency it is. Well, I do know most of the time. I know what it is, but I just don't want to get it wrong just in case. So thank you for the didgeridoos is what he meant to say. Anyway, yeah, I wonder how they're going to do sword singing, which is kind of, at this point, it's a ability that was in Hammerfell that is no longer really a thing there. Some of the martial arts and sword skills that they practice are descended from sword singing, but it's not so, like, sword singing is like a magical kind of ability. People think that might tie into shouts and be the equivalent of shouts, and you're going to be the first sword singer in 100 years. Maybe the magic system can play into that. I know that when Skyrim did the dual wielding, the spell in one hand or dual wielding spells and the sword in the other, that was a pretty interesting change and improvement. So I would like to know what I'm more interested, other than what's going on with the Mages Guild. I'm honestly more interested to see what happens with the magic system and how they try to update it for their next Elder Scrolls game.
There you go. Well said.
He said
well
Euro. Oh, see you, Iron. Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, Iron Balls. Yeah, peace out, bro. Thank you for being here. Sincerely appreciate you. DeMarco, are you ready? Are you ready for dessert? Not just any dessert, but crimson dessert. Put them together.
Num nums.
Finally, we can talk about crimson dessert. This game, I didn't learn. again, it was Crimson Desert was one of the games that we hit 500 people watching. Insane. Thank you all so much. Incredible. We're just going to carry on as if nothing. Oh, Gordon says, I agree. I hope they do something better with the magic system. Yeah. Mixing it up. Crimson Desert.
As long as you don't run like this.
Oh my God, the classic.
When you're dual wielding spells.
Oh, when you're running around like this. Yeah, exactly.
And you run like this when you're dual. As long as that's not.
Yeah. I thought you meant the Oblivion remaster run. You remember that? The swimming.
Yeah, that one's bad.
Swimming. It's hilarious. It's ridiculous. More viewers than XNC confirmed. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think that will never happen. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Sincerely, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Crimson Desert. So I was going in blind for this game because I was like, we're either going to have a day before situation where the game is promising so much, there's absolutely no way that this game is doing everything that it's doing. So I waited. It was like 2 years later. We're finally seeing it's still alive and well. Here we are. The game is coming out next month, and they're still showing new features. One of the things that I didn't know about is that it's not necessarily an RPG. It's actually a gear-focused experience. I don't know how else to frame it. So basically that means that you're not leveling up. You're not going out. You don't get XP whenever you kill enemies. And people might say, oh, dang, dude. Hang on. Let me stop you there. Because one of the greatest things about that is with Crimson Desert, it encourages you to explore the world, which you then get physically rewarded with and get stronger because of it. So it's just like an Elden Ring, where Elden Ring, now you do level up in Elden Ring and you do get stronger in Elden Ring, but your stats don't necessarily they don't necessarily govern. I guess they're not the thing that makes you stronger. They are governing skills that allow you to equip better gear that you can then use, which are much stronger than the gear that you have previous. So you still need those experience points or the souls or whatever to get better strength to then equip a better weapon. So Crimson Desert is doing that, and I feel like that is one of the most intriguing things. Beyond all 157,000 different things that you can do in the game, that's one of the things that I think. So the thing that tells me, DeMarco, is that because they're leaning so heavily into a more gear-focused experience, I guess, it means that their open world has to be super dense, like we just talked about with Crimson Desert, or sorry, with the Elder Scrolls 6. What we want to see out of the Elder Scrolls 6. So they definitely have to have something really special in the hands in terms of the density of the open world. And hold that thought, because thank you so much, Dave Goodrich, developer of Twisted Metal, and if you guys know that game, Twisted Metal, you should. And Vigilante 8, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Sincerely appreciate it. 505 is impressive viewership. Like the stream. Yes, thank you so much, Dave. Sincerely appreciate you, bro. It really means a lot, man. Wow, what a full circle moment. Sorry, I just had to take, just with the silence, have a moment of silence. I'm going to turn off the music. Okay, music's back. All right, thank you. Thank you guys so much. It's so nice of you. Really, please hit the like button. So anyway, the open world, that is something that I feel like it's a good sign, because you can have a great RPG. You can level up all day long, kill hundreds of enemies or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then you could have your repetitive dungeon exploration and whatnot. But yeah, what's your take on the gear-focused mechanics of the game? Do you feel you agree with me?
It's hard to talk about Crimson Desert, not because there's so much information. Like that's one specific part of it, and I just actually, before coming on the show, recorded a video on Crimson Desert because it was a 2-hour interview that took place.
Oh.
And there was a 2-hour interview with Will Powers, who's the director of marketing, and there's a lot of really, I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of really crappy questions that were asked during that interview.
Like, what kind of hair could you make?
Basically,
Yeah.
there were some really good ones. There were some really bad ones, and there's others that I'm just like, why did someone not ask about like that? Like I would have, first thing I would have asked is, but whatever. The gear is the question. It's really cool what they're doing. I like the idea of the gear system. I will always, my personal preference, 10 out of 10 times, I like a Baldur's Gate 3. I like a D&D style system where you do have skill points and attributes and you put it in and there's like specific defined classes. I think, and I've said it, you know, you look at Baldur's Gate as the prime example because that is literally just D&D, you know, put into a computer game. But I think it makes it so much more interesting. It sounds like it'd be really restrictive. Oh, I have to play as a cleric. I have to play as a paladin. But it actually creates so much opportunity to say, well, you are playing as a paladin, so therefore you, as a paladin, are going to get this thing that only paladins can do. And then you think about, like, well, why do they put backgrounds in Starfield or in Fallout New Vegas or in any other Outer Worlds? And it's because it opens up unique possibilities based on those backgrounds. And the same goes for classes. You want to play as a paladin or a knight or a fighter or a barbarian. And now you can do these unique things that no one else can do. So I really like that idea. That's my preference. That being said, the way Crimson Desert is doing it is very, very cool because you can really customize what type of character you want to play and gear them up circumstantially. So one of the examples that they gave during the interview, and again, I'll have a video coming out about this. I'll see if I can get it edited for and ready for tomorrow. But there's also a Todd Howard interview happening tomorrow, just side note, which is people pay attention to that because I'm curious what he's going to talk about just because Starfield 2.0 is supposedly going to be announced or revealed in March for an April release. So I don't know what he has to talk about on this podcast, you know, kind of funny podcast that he's doing. So it'll be, anyway, it's really cool because you can tailor it to what you're doing in the moment. So the example that Will gave during the interview is they have a crime system. You can't really play like a bad guy in the game. Again, it's not like an Elder Scrolls game where you can go and join the Dark Brotherhood and assassinate people. You can commit some minor crimes, get locked up, people come after you, there's guards and stuff like that. But you can actually equip a piece of gear that will make your damage higher based on the amount of notoriety that you have and your wanted level. And that to me nuts. Is such a cool way to utilize a gear system, right? Or there's a element in the game where they're hunting and you'll see that he's wearing this cape, this cloak that's like leaves on him during the scene in one of the developer diaries that came up. And it's not just visual. The function of that, and again, this came out in the interview, is that it actually makes wildlife less frightened of you, so it's easier to hunt.
Right.
And that is such a cool way to do it, so that you want to play a character that's doing this specific thing, or hey, I did get caught for all these crimes, or hey, I'm struggling on this boss fight. Let me go rob a bunch and beat the crap out of a bunch of innocent citizens,
right?
And then I'm gonna use this piece of gear I found so that I can go beat the boss. It's for the greater good, right? Like I'm doing it for the greater good because this is a bandit leader that I gotta go take on. So yeah, I gotta punch this random guy in the street, and steal his apples. Right. So I think that's and kick his dog. And please don't do that. It's horrible. Don't kick. But don't kick the dog. But I think that's such a unique. I wonder what your bounty goes up for that one. It should be like times 1,000,000, 1 million gold bounty on him. But I think that's a really cool mechanic. So I'm excited for it for that reason.
Thank you so much, Jonas, in the chat earlier. Sorry, I missed it. Jonas, who is the executive producer on this channel and DeMarco's channel in a lot of ways. He is responsible for this entire layout and everything. He says, this is a small amount of likes for so many viewers. Do my friends a favor, help the stream and the channel with a little like on the video. And he says, everyone in chat, sub to both of these guys, by the way. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much, Jonas. Really appreciate you, man, for everything that you've done. Everything, my friend. Yeah, it's so...
Everything was said, my friend. What do you have? Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
Yeah, exactly. You guys get the reference. Come on.
That's just my favorite line. He gets so excited and then he gets so disappointed.
Right, exactly.
Everything's for sale. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second. Oh, what do you have for sale? Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
Exactly. I have a little garnet, little jewel here. And I'm also Nick Valentine and Corvo Atano from Dishonored. Anyway, yeah, shout out to that voice actor. I can't remember his name, but anyway, yeah, Crimson Desert. I think one of the things, like, we always talk about whenever a game tries to, I mean, this goes for anything. It's like in Hollywood, like we were talking about earlier, like if you do too much for one person, or sorry, if you do too much for everyone, you're doing a lot for no one, or whatever the hell the saying is. It's a terrible way to say it.
There's a big difference though. Finish your point, but there's a big difference here.
Right. And so I was worried about this, where, because I don't feel that way anymore. There's a difference here where I was like, if Crimson Desert is doing everything for everyone, it's essentially for no one because there's not a focal point. But if you're an RPG player like us and like you love Bethesda games, you can do whatever you want all the time. We could put 150 hours in Crimson Desert doing the thing that we love, put it down for a year, come back and do something completely different with a different character too. And I feel like after seeing what Crimson Desert has done, after seeing what Crimson Desert has is showcasing what you can do in the game, it is starting to feel like a different, like, umbrella of that same Bethesda DNA, where you can just go out and do whatever you want. You don't really need, like, I feel like there's a reason that they haven't leaned into, here's the story of Cliff and the lady and the big orc dude, because no one gives a shit, to be honest. Like, they want to see the things that you can do in the game. They want to see the combat and can you. I saw a video where you can literally chop down a tree and like slingshot yourself with a tree over into an enemy fort. I'm like, of course you can. Walls, yeah. Of course you can. Why couldn't you? Because it's Crimson Desert. That's
after
why.
You've just dismounted from your dinosaur that you've been riding.
After with the dragon,
which you mounted the dinosaur after you flew down from the Sky Islands, you know, soaring down back to not Earth, whatever it is.
Right, exactly. Like the Aztec Assassin's Creed 3 the God cubes or whatever they're called. So anyway, I don't feel that way anymore. And I feel like that's why I'm even more excited about Crimson Desert, because so I want to hear your point on that, because that's the thing that got me most excited. I'm like, wait, this is a do whatever you want all the time kind of game, isn't it?
Yeah, so, and Adriel, I apologize, I'm not going to pronounce that right, but kind of hinted at it, which he said from a BDO player standpoint, I think you could completely trust this game. Those systems have been placed in BDO for a decade, polished over the years, PvP and class systems balanced to detail. And that's something the marketing director said himself specifically. Before I go on, I don't know if you want to acknowledge that.
Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat, thank you so much for the Australian $5. He doesn't say anything. I think he's just saying, I love you guys. Sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much, Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat. And shout out to everyone who has supported the channel tonight. It's been really humbling. Like, sincerely. Over 600 people watching right now. People that love gaming. People that just want to have a good time, that they're excited to hear about the hype for things that take them away from the terrible real life that we have to deal with every single day. Let's be honest. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's why we love gaming. To escape into worlds that we have some sort of agency over. Sincerely appreciate that. Thank you, Grandpa Barbecue Game Cat. I sincerely appreciate you. Means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Yes.
So Will said in this that because they're coming from a live service MMO background, and I hinted this in my coverage of the game too. I've been saying it from the get-go, which is they have a live service background and they're scaling that down to a single player experience, which is a lot easier than doing it the other way. How many studios, which, spoiler alert, it's basically all of them, that were single player and said, well, we're going to make this multiplayer game. It's going to be online. It's going to be co-op. You don't even have to say like a live service. It's just going to be a co-op game, but we traditionally make these single player experiences, and they just flop because it's so much more resource intensive. It's so much different. You have to completely deconstruct the way that you make games and rethink about it because you need to tailor it to a multiplayer world. Now you're going the opposite way, and you say, well, we had this live element service of one of the big questions is, are you going to be able to sail boats and get in ship battles in Crimson Desert? Probably, because that's in Black Desert Online. And Will Powers, that's the question. He was really cagey about it. He's like, well, I'm not going to say anything yet. But like, you look at what Black Desert does, and the answer is probably you will be able to, because they've already done it before, and they've done it before because they had. Think about what ESO does compared to a regular Bethesda game. Right? Those systems, there's so much more that's going on in Elder Scrolls Online, and it might not appeal to you because you like the way it's done in a single player game, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But they need to have all of these things because it's this big, living, breathing world, especially for an MMO. People are logging in every single day for hours and hours and hours. They're putting days, weeks, years of their life into these things. They need to have all of these things you can do in it. So now you say, and this is a quote from, basically quoting from him, which is, well, why can't we do that system? Why can't we do that fish it? Why can't we do the dragon ride? Why can't we do the boats? Why can't we do that this and that, and the crafting, the cooking?
We have the technology.
We have the technology. We've done it before. Bring it in. Do it bigger. Better. You know, don't like. Oh, damn it! I want 3 dragons you can ride.
Right. Kylo Ren.
I think of like the Harry Potter. Oh, I think of the Harry Potter scene. 36. Last year they were 37. You know, and he's having the temper tantrum. Dudley.
Right.
So it's genuinely, that's so big of a part of it. And if you look at like all the time, I see comments from people where they're saying, you know, I play Black Desert Online, and the first person I listen to is their perspective. I feel like it's one of the most valuable, and they're like, yeah, Crimson Desert is basically just like Black Desert Online 1.5 in a lot of ways, because it's just taking those systems and boiling it down. And then when you bring that into a single player environment where you don't need servers, load time, consistency, load balancing, security patches, anti-cheat software, you know, consistent worlds loading at all times, all of those things that we don't want to think about when you play an online game. When you take those away, all that's left,
dude,
is the game mechanics themselves.
That one sentence just nailed exactly how I feel about it, because look, I've tried to play Black Desert. I put a good amount of time into Elder Scrolls Online. And when I say good amount of time, I put like 50, 60 hours into it over the course of a few years. And a few other MMOs. And what I end up running into is I'm sort of like this like glamour factor where like I'm looking at the screenshots and the features and the factions and the combat, and I'm like, this is gonna be great, this is great. And then you jump in, and then there's 57 dudes jumping on each other's head with rainbow halos and unicorn diving. I'm like, oh my god, here we go. It's still an MMO. It's still an MMO. I tried to play Black Desert the same way. It was like, I had a friend tell me, you need to try Black Desert, and this was like 3 years ago. And I was like, what can you do? And he's like, well, I know you like ship combat, that you can get a ship. I'm like, you can get a ship? And he's like, yeah, bro. Little did I know, you can't get a ship until like 500 hours into the game, because you have to grind to get there. It's all the walls that you have to knock down.
The handicaps to extend the lifespan. Yeah, it's all the intentional barriers.
Right. And this is like the first time that I've really seen a game. And I'm so glad that you said that, because it's the first time that this might be like the closest thing to my favorite MMO that I'll ever get, where it has all these things, but I don't need to do them all in one playthrough. It's a same, like whenever I play a Bethesda game, I said it before, like whenever the Elder Scrolls 6 comes out in 27 years, whenever we're 82 years old, whenever it comes out, I'm not gonna try to go join all the factions and beat the main story and do blah blah blah. Like, you want to just live in the world and do what you're feeling right then and there. In this game, one of the first things that I thought about was, can you get a boat? Of course you can. Of course, I'm not even going to Google it. I know that you can get a boat, because I'm really curious if you can. This game has a boat. I'm telling you, it might be a little canoe like The Witcher, but at least I know that I don't have to be level 57 and do 32 raids in order to get there. Like, it will just become available to me as the game progresses organically, and that's so engaging to me. And speaking of engaging, the thing that about exploring the world and being rewarded for it, the chef's kiss. Like, that should just be, that's like classic, Zelda, right? Like Zelda Breath of the Wild is like, just go out and do whatever you want and find stuff and you get better with it. Or, well, maybe Breath of the Wild isn't the best example, but you know, just the classic fun, I want to go explore the world and I get rewarded for it, rather than, oh, you found a sword and you're not high enough level for it. It's like, just use it. You found it, that's good enough for us, you earned it. You're right? Like, I just love that. I love that so much. Yeah, so I'm really interested to see, and I'm curious to look at this interview too. Yeah, there you go.
It's still not going to be a game for everybody, right? Because at the end of the day, you're still going to have, there's probably going to be a substantial amount of kind of MMO feeling elements to it. And you're seeing all the highlights, they're showing you the snippets, but then you realize when you get into the actual game that it does become like, all right, go save this citizen, and you're like, oh, okay. All right, and at first it might be fun, but then you realize 20 quests later, 30 quests later, that you're still saving another citizen. And you go, oh, okay, all right, like, what am I doing here? And so, I'm not saying that is going to be the case. I'm not saying that isn't going to be the case. We don't know. And there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of hype behind the game, and that's awesome. I have a lot of confidence in it that it's going to be a bit more robust than that. But we just simply don't know at this point in time. And even then, even if it's well, like halfway written, like if it's on the same writing level of Elder Scrolls, which, you know, people think is fine. Even if that's the case, is it just going to be the gameplay, like, and the systems that carry you through? Possibly, but that's not going to satisfy everyone. A lot of people are going to be unhappy with that, and that's fine. Maybe it's too sim heavy for you. You get in and you realize, I really don't want to be managing these gray mains, and that's kind of a more essential part. And I don't really want to be, you know, taming mounts, and that's like, you know, I realize when you hop in that it kind of feels like a simulation, and people might jump into it and go, I actually don't like that it's a simulation. I kind of want something that's a bit more curated, right? That's fine. That's totally fine.
And I think that,
but we don't know yet. We can't tell just yet.
And I think that you can find that experience within the game too. Or I would hope, right? Like when you're saying, like, I feel like I don't want to interact with the gray mains, and I don't want to build up my camp, and I don't want to build. Dude, I found out the other day, you can literally, I didn't find out. It was elaborated much more clearly in that breakdown video. You can build like an entire village. I'm like, okay. I thought it was a camp. I thought it was just like a little Red Dead Redemption 2 rinky-dink camp. No, it's a full-on. Like, what? But
you upgrade it, you work the farms, you're cooking in it, you're getting vendors in it.
It's insane. I'm like, but again, I'm sure that you don't need to interact with that, right? And I'm sure that there are things that offset your experience in a good way or a positive way, depending on what you want to interact with versus what you don't want to interact with. So if you want to interact with building up your camp, that means that you'll have maybe an advantage to, like you said, building up your gear or getting better consumables. If you don't want to interact with it, well, then you'll find ways to get better gear or get better consumables in another way that somebody else may not, because they don't want to interact with that. And again, player agency. Do whatever you want. Go wherever you want. The game, your title was the greatest thumbnail. I loved it so much. It just said, this shouldn't exist. And I'm like, 100% this should not, because and again, and if you guys remember the day before was a complete scam. It was the zombie game, bless you. It was a zombie game that was touted as like The Division meets zombies, like just, and it's a living, breathing world.
Division meets The Last of Us, yeah.
Right, and it was just so too good to be true. And I remember a good friend of mine, he's like, I'm so excited for this, bro. And I'm like, it feels weird. It's like, it just looks way too good. And like, it was showcased in a way that was like the typical, like, you know, like whenever we first saw The Division.
It looked like a mobile game, Ed.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and take your tanks across the world and build up a community within the community inside of the community's asshole. And you're like, wait, none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's what
I've
it does.
wanted to do
I've
that.
always wanted to do that. Exactly. It's like, what do we? And then if it came out to be a scam, and I think I was really like, just, what's the word? I was sort of just like ready for that. I was wincing. Yeah, like I was wincing, like, oh, this is gonna be a similar situation. But it's not, and I feel like this might be the first example in a long time where, like I mentioned, this is not Assassin says the worst of us. That's what the game. It's a good name title for that game, or for that not game. The worst of us. That's really good. It's a really good example of a game that can do a lot and be for everyone because it doesn't force you to interact with everything that it has to offer, like an MMO would do. Yeah, and it's funny, I saw today, this might have been in that same interview where they talked about how they haven't locked away cooperative or multiplayer. They have sort of just it's sort of just resting in a corner, essentially. So it's there, it's not implemented fully. I might be throwing too many words, like putting too many words in their mouth, but I feel like depending on how well the game does, it could be a possibility that we get co-op, at least just running around the world together, doing whatever you want. How do you feel about that?
I mean, based on the MMO background, it looks like it was meant for co-op too, right? Yeah. I have a lot of appreciation because in this new interview that is like 2 hours long, one of the things he said is, and I actually didn't mention this one in my video, but he did say, like, this is a single player experience. It's a single player game. That's what it was designed as. So I love the idea. It's a much better thing. Hey, you do have it is this expansive, so you can inject, and it's a very rare situation. I've talked about in the past how a lot of games you need to design them to be multiplayer. You can't just say, oh, we're going to put in a multiplayer element. Like, it just doesn't work that way. There's so many systems that need to be built around having two people at the same time to make it anything enjoyable. So whether if it comes at a later date, that's cool. I'm much more grateful that they're saying we're focusing on the single player part of it. I feel as though that's a better move because I am traditionally a single player gamer. However, this is something I really wouldn't mind it being added to at some point in the future if that's where they choose to go. And it's a possibility. They talked about a lot of we're just focused on launch right now. There was definitely a focus in that interview of we're giving you the full game up front. This is what you get. It's $70. You buy it once. He iterated that there's no microtransactions. There's some cosmetics for the deluxe edition, but there's no microtransactions in the game. What you get is what you get. And they didn't really anything additional to that was always brought up in the context of, well, maybe we'll think about that at some point. Whether that was multiplayer, modding came up, and it didn't even really get touched on, but potential for DLC, which I hate when, like, the game's not out yet. Don't ask about DLC, like, game's not, but that wasn't asked, but the same principle applies, right? So, multiplayer, maybe, I would love to see it. It seems like a ripe world for it.
Yeah.
I'm not gunning for it, because this is a world I want to sink my teeth into. Not our teeth.
Right.
You can come in later.
Right. Your teeth. There's only enough room for one pair of teeth in this world right now.
At launch.
Later.
At launch.
Right. At
launch.
Later.
There
At
might be
lunch.
room.
Exactly.
At
Crimson
lunch.
Desert single player breakfast, multiplayer lunch. Both of our teeth. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like, there are some games. Like good examples of, well, I guess an example of games that launched specifically as a single player game to then bring in co-op later and multiplayer later would be something like a GTA Online. Like, even if they weren't completely ready with multiplayer for Grand Theft Auto 5, mm-hmm. They could have launched with it, but they did want people to experience it firsthand and get everything, get the single players out of their system and then get your second wind with co-op. And I feel like that this world is definitely right for that, given how massive it is. Like, do we know how big this game is? Like, isn't this bigger than
map size?
Yeah.
So they said that they didn't give a time. I think they avoided a time that it takes to get from like one side to the other. but it's roughly twice the size of Skyrim, and bigger than Red Dead Redemption 2.
Jesus, that's crazy. That is crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Yes. Now they emphasize that it was built with all the design principles come back to it's designed around fun. It's meant to be fun. And I like when I hear that, because that's my design philosophy when it comes to a game too. Like, why are you putting this in? It has to just be fun first and foremost. So that was a good thing to hear. Right. But they tied that into the exploration part where they wanted the world to be filled with plenty of distractions that you can go off and do. The quality of those distractions, he said, don't expect dungeons. That was another thing too. He said, don't expect dungeons, which is how it's different from a game like Skyrim. And that doesn't mean you won't have places to go in and explore and crawl around. Like, they've even showed in some of the gameplay that you're kind of going in to these like tunnels and downstairs, and you're finding secret rooms that, the bookcase turns and there's treasure behind it.
Yeah.
But not, I think what he's hinting at is it's not going to be like Skyrim where you're going in and then you're diving and there's multiple layers and tiers to it, and then you find yourself, now it goes from a cave to a dwarven ruin, and then suddenly now you're in Blackreach, and there's a sky above you underground.
Right.
So don't expect that, because that's something very unique to Bethesda games. No other studio does it as well as them.
Right.
But there is points to go and explore and do different things. And that might be a boss encounter.
So it's not something like, it's like it's sort of like walking into a house in a video game, a big house. It's like, here's the big house, everything's right here. You can walk through this door, and then here's another room, and then there's a chest there, and then you can sort of look around. There might be something else around, and you're done. It's not like a big, like, elaborate fight the boss, find the chest at the end of the tunnel. I mean, because that seems like a dungeon to me. Like, even like Dragon's Dogma, which love Dragon's Dogma, does dungeons really, really well. And I feel like it's the pacing of Dragon's Dogma that it works really well because of the nature of just its pacing. It's paced very differently. Like, it is very fast at times, but it's also very slow paced in a weird way. Crimson Desert seems a little too dramatic and insane to be dungeon crawling, and maybe that's why they're like, this doesn't really work. If you've seen the combat in Crimson Desert, which I guess many people here have, it's pretty wild. Like, it is like insane. Like, you're like jumping all over the place and like slashing magical explosions, and whenever you swing your sword, it's like this huge particle effect but by the way, that you can customize. From what I understand, you can totally turn that off. So maybe it just didn't fit the vibe of the game. It's a little too bombastic.
The blades of grass, have individual physics.
The blades of grass?
The blades of grass. When you swing your sword, you're doing all these crazy things, and the wind is gushing out from your sword. Yeah. The blades of grass, supposedly, they all move individually based on the GPU physics system that they're using in the game. Which, fun fact, that was something that existed in like 2009 in Arkham Asylum. When that game came out, like, that technology has existed for a very long time. It existed in Star Wars The Force Unleashed as well.
Wow.
But games just don't do it. Yeah, so it's not like a new technology, some of the things they're doing. Cool little details, like when you get wet in the game, when you get wet, only the parts of your body that touch the water actually will have water, like, wet effect on them. There you go. You should go. Like the horse, amazing. It walks through the water, and only its legs will be damp, not the whole body. Or like you belly flop. There's like a belly flop move. You do that, only the front will be saturated.
It's insane. It's the amount. I knew True 77 was gonna like that. It's like the amount of unnecessary detail that make games last forever, especially on the internet, because you have like the top 10 things you didn't notice about Red Dead Redemption 2. Did you know if you stand near a beehive for too long, they can sting you? I don't know, whatever. Like that kind of stuff. Like that level of detail is absolutely insane.
Yeah. And it works. Here's just it works in a game. So I feel like it works in a game like. You think about Starfield, and Starfield actually did have an incredible level of detail. We talked about it before. The planets actually move around the thing, and like this planet over here, you go to this system, and the gravity and the atmosphere and the lighting from that atmosphere is all realistic based on, and the time that passes is all based on the temperature. what is in relation to the actual sun that's there, and it's all space-based reality fit, but that stuff doesn't matter. Yes, it's all cool details, but those details do not matter if the rest of the game isn't supporting it up. Then you look at Crimson Desert, where it has all these different systems, and everyone's like, oh my god, this game looks amazing. And let's just say it comes out and it is a generation-defining game, hypothetically, right? And everyone's like, oh my god, the game's 10 out of 10. And then you also find out, well, look at how realistically the ice breaks and the water is wet, and this and the, and you know, the when on the individual blades of grass blow in the wind, those small details all are amplified by the gameplay, not the other way around.
Right.
And that's why Crimson Desert is going to be as special as it is, because it's able to achieve both. Even The Last of Us, right? Remember when The Last of Us 2 came out and people were just playing with the wires and the physics with the wire, throwing them over the things, and you're seeing how the core like fumbles and like that's cool. And like, what is it, the ice, you know, you walk over it and the snow and the ice and the water, and it shatters kind of realistically when the horse goes. That all matters because the rest of the game is as detailed and as good as it is. Whatever your take on The Last of Us 2, but like,
oh, gameplay wise, incredible. Like second to none. It's Last of Us 2 did so many things incredible gameplay wise. It just, I haven't seen anything like it. And maybe that's something that we'll get with this game too, where we're gonna that's always the interesting thing. And we can start to wrap it up here because we're going over time, but one of the interesting things about...
Sure, you got almost 700 people that are...
I know, dude. And I would stay here all night with you guys if I could, but I can't. But look, if you want more of this, subscribe to the channel. Get it live every single Tuesday. That's how you get more of this. So please consider subscribing. It means everything. Seriously, it's the lifeblood, right? It's the lifeblood. So thank you all again so much for being here. But yeah, what I would say is, whenever a new game comes out and actually does something different rather than just the rigmarole open world blah blah blah, then you see games evolving years later. Like 5 years from now, we're going to see something done with another game that was inspired by Crimson Desert or whatever. And that's the kind of evolution that I like to see. Like, the unfortunate evolution that we've seen in gaming in general has been free to play and microtransactions. Like, I'm sorry, but look what just happened with Highguard. Like, it's a trend that started way too late after the trend had died, and people already found they're already fixated in that genre that they don't want to go outside of Overwatch or whatever, right? Crimson Desert is doing the thing that a lot of maybe MMO players love MMOs, but they're to a point where they're like, I don't want to interact with raids. I just want to play something like an MMO where I'm just doing my own thing. There you go. Here it is. And it's these kind of, like, I'll call them innovations that really excite me for the future of gaming in general, because we just don't get too much we don't get too much innovation that doesn't, like, it's not like the game is stepping on its own feet all the time. Like, this seems
You mean
to, like,
Call of Duty 72 isn't innovating?
No, man. Like, what are we doing? I feel like Call of Duty I feel like Call of Duty 7 or Black Ops 7 just did something terrible on purpose, so that way the next Call of Duty that's mediocre is miles better by comparison. No, it's self-sabotage to get a better success next year. But anyway, 78 Inc says, I think Crimson Desert will be more comparable to Dragon's Dogma. Yeah, it could be. I don't think you can you have, every time I go in Crimson Desert, can you, and I'm like, you probably can you have companions? I don't know. Can you have followers in the game? I can't imagine.
No, as far as I know, no. They might follow you on a mission and they'll be fighting alongside you, but it's not like you're traveling with them the way you would in Skyrim or Fallout.
And can you imagine being a companion to Cliff or the lady or the orc dude? They're like, ha! Oh, you've got it.
Okay.
You've got it. I'll be over here. And your dude's like, yeah! It's like exploding your hand, just like jumping on dragons and doing huge spells and stuff. Like, yeah, you've got it.
And then he's like, and then he finally kills one, and you're like, I should go. And then you slingshot your way.
Yeah, just fly off on a
You
dragon.
summon your dragon to just land.
Right.
It lands on Unka, the companion, and you're like, oh.
Well, yeah, I think
You'll get him next time.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Let me go up to the Sky Island now. Goodbye.
Right, and look down upon you peasants.
As you glide like a wizard with your eagle raven wings that you get
Right,
on your dragon.
Oh my goodness. Shout out to almost 700 people here. It's been absolutely incredible. And I would just stay all night long if I could, but I have an early morning and all kinds of fun stuff to do tomorrow. But please, I know I've said it 100 times, but if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel to keep up with all things RPGs. Please go subscribe to DeMarco's channel. He is killing it right now. The link to his channel is in the description, so go click that. You might already be subscribed to him. If you're here for Crimson Desert, you probably already found him. So yes, please do that. But speaking of which, DeMarco, any last words? Yeah, where can people find you? What you got going on?
DeMarco, dude, in the description below. Please give the recent video some love if you haven't checked it out already. Now that the show is ending, something more to watch where I go through some of the stuff we talked about today, but just in a little bit more depth in relation to the Elder Scrolls 6, and that's going to be an ongoing series where I dive into a bunch of different topics about the game. And there's an interview with Todd Howard coming out tomorrow and Kind of Funny, so I'll be covering that, which should be interesting. As well as I'm working right now, I have Premiere Pro open in the background. I have been working on it. You've had my undivided attention, sir, but it's ready to go where I'm pulling in clips in the face cam and diving into editing right after the show. That'll be a late night for me to get that one ready, but nice. Going into that 2-hour interview and pulling in the importance, what I thought was the important stuff, because again, there were a lot of questions that we already know. So plenty of content on the way. Crimson Desert, Elder Scrolls 6, and I'll be covering some Fable too. Those are kind of my big three at the moment. And you can get that all over on DeMarco, dude. So if just even a quarter of the 700 of you stop by, that would push me, well, not a quarter, but if 500, I know that's a lot, but if 500 of the 700 come over, that'll bring me to 6,000.
Crazy.
Which is cool. Crazy. I know I talked about subscribers being a vanity metric, but it's still cool to see that stuff. You know, it's still exciting. It says it's like, hey, I'm doing a good job. So anyway, That's enough. I never really try to take up that long with the self-promotion. So this is the longest I've done it. I won't do it again next week. I've done it this week.
You need to do it every week.
Thank you all, guys. Seriously, the support's really appreciated. All the super chats, the gifted memberships, like all that stuff is great to see. And we're so happy to have you all here listening to us ramble about games.
Yeah, really well said. Yeah, please do go check out DeMarco. He is, you've been so consistent that your channel, like, you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing that the big dogs always talk about. And we're like, that's not true. And then you start getting into it and start growing and growing. And growing. You're like, and then you can't stop. Right? For now, right?
It's not gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna lie. I have February, and then at the end of February, it seems like my fun will be over.
So get it while you can, people. Yeah, please go subscribe to DeMarco. It looks like some people in chat just went and subscribed to you as well. So there you go. It's sincerely appreciated. Yeah, so please go check that out. And please go check out his Elder Scrolls video that he just put out. It was really great. I love watching your Elder Scrolls content, because I feel like any fan of Elder Scrolls can always say, like, it's just so good to just hear people talk about Elder Scrolls, because it's such a nostalgic, like, warm hug. Like Elder Scrolls in general, it's like anytime you hear people talking about it and make great videos like that, just talking about what they're excited about, it never gets old for me. And I feel like I speak for everyone, my friend. But
everyone, my friend.
And as far as me, I also have a Crimson Desert video coming out, as well as another video. It's a weird one, but well, I want to talk about it because who knows? It's just a fun little thing that I'm gonna do. But yeah, still covering all things Witcher, RPGs, Elder Scrolls, and Crimson Desert, that kind of stuff. Definitely coming up. So please do subscribe to this channel as well if you want more of that. Sincerely appreciate it. FarQ says, "Damn, Red, look at those numbers. Congrats." Yes. Sincerely appreciate the hundreds of people that came to check out the show tonight, which I never thought that I could say. really means a lot. Like, I know it seems cliche and like, all right, bro, just hurry the hell up. Just come on. But seriously, it really truly means a lot. So please subscribe on your way out. Hit the like button at the very least. You know, whatever. I'll have timestamps up. Thank you, DeMarco. That's actually a soundbite from DeMarco.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woohoo!
See? It's him. It's literally him. Oh, here.
Let's talk about buttered sausage.
Here, that was for Fonz, who I think his show just ended, but he wanted to talk about buttered sausage. And shout out to Bat Rastard in chat who told us how he found the show. That really is very eye-opening to how simple it can be and also frustrating with the algorithm of YouTube.
How it should be.
Yeah, it's how it should be. It should be simple, but you never know what you're getting into. So anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to leave a like at the least and a sub at the most, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone.